actually very warm, but I'm not going to turn this fan on.
It is rather warm today.
Yes. And we had a little bit of a storm.
Oh,
And,
lucky you.
well, I'm not too lucky because the limbs and stuff were like, they just missed my car. And they better be glad because I'd go punch the tree in the face.
All right, okay.
I've got to start keeping my car in the garage.
Hmm.
Howdy, Nana.
Ah, hello.
I am sleepy and exhausted, but we're going to talk about that when the
Yeah,
show
you haven't
starts.
even told me what's going on, so
Nope. It was cray.
yeah. I haven't sent you the document because you can't open it anyway, so there's no
I was
point.
gonna say, huh?
I thought
Right.
I'd keep this one close to my chest anyway. Because I'm not even joking, up until 90 minutes ago, I
Uh-huh.
had no plan.
Oh, Pete. Flying by the seat of our pants.
Oh, I'm sorry, I've been out socializing today.
Yeah, out having a life.
As you
Oh,
can tell by my fucking hair.
I see that.
I literally just looked at my camera and was like, oh crap, look at the state of that shit.
It's all windswept, Pete.
I mean, that's what happens when you sit in the front seat of an Audi A5 with the windows down
Uh-huh.
and the guy doing just about 70, of course.
Oh, yes. Mm-hmm. Too
I
funny.
mean, I don't know, it was there or there about 70 miles an hour.
Uh-huh, yeah. Just hovering. Yeah.
Just hovering around the 70, 90 something miles
Yeah,
per hour.
there you go. That's kind of what I was doing yesterday, so I totally understand that.
Well, I was listening to a podcast over the week, which the guy nearly sold himself like badly.
Well,
And he
yeah.
was just like, "Oh, I was doing more than about 70 on the
About.
motorway." It was like, "Oh, like
Yeah, you
no
have to
more
be
than
careful with
70." It was
that.
like, "All right, yeah, keep
Hmm.
digging."
Oh my goodness, they come for you.
Yeah, they do. Why have I taken that off? I don't know why. Took my watch off. Don't know why.
I'm in some weird phase. I take phases. Well, I don't wear like a normal watch. I just wear like a kind of a fake Fitbit. It's a Chinese version.
That's what I'm doing.
Ah, right. And like sometimes I'm fine with it, and then I'll just go through these
Yeah.
phases where I cannot stand the sensation of it. It's like too much.
Uh, to
Even if
be
I put
fair,
it on the
like,
last thing, it's just like, it's too much.
yeah, like to be fair, up until probably about 2 weeks ago, I never wore a watch, and now I've just been wearing this because of obviously walking and all of that. It kind
Yeah.
of helps because my step counter is
Oh
obviously
yeah.
much better. Except I'm not saying something I did yesterday.
Uh huh.
Let's just say that it might have been an exercise that gets the heart rate pumping.
That's not fair. That's
Sorry.
not fair. I don't ever get to have that exercise.
Like I forgot to take it off, all right,
Oh
and then
man,
I was
man.
just sat there. I was like, "Why has my heart rate gone so?" Oh, okay.
Oh man. See all this stuff. I'm gonna do that in the future.
What, you're gonna wear a Fitbit?
I want to now. Now I never thought of it before.
I can't say I had until I'd forgotten to take it off.
Although I will be talking about this on stream, I have to focus. No distractions. No pretty
That's gonna
boys.
be hard for you, isn't
It's
it?
gonna be very, very hard for me.
That's what she said.
That's what she said. Uh, Absolutely no pretty boys.
You know what?
No pretty boys. I cannot
Oh,
get distracted by any brooding poet, pretty boy artist types are yearning to be loved. And yes, my trainer spoke specifically about that to me.
okay. We'll go over that in a bit, I guess.
Yep. It was a very fun week, I will say that.
Was it now?
I didn't need to wear my Fitbit for anything, but
Well, you do if you're going to the
well,
gym.
I know. I was like, well, except
You
for
know,
actual exercise.
for calorie burning and heart rate. When actually exercising.
Actual exercise.
Yeah, because
Oh,
I'm pretty sure my heart rate isn't getting up above a certain beats per minute by walking.
I will say this because I don't want this on the actual show. It can be on this
Yeah, that's
pre-show.
fine.
But so yesterday I was hanging out with a lot of my gym buddies.
Nice.
But the one trainer that I'm like really, you know, him and his
Oh,
wife
yeah, yeah.
we're like jiving or whatever. I don't know what normal humans say. Friends? Maybe that's the word. But
You were well. Me and my group, we call it vibing now.
I guess vibing. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. So his wife and him and I, we just vibe, totally chill vibe.
Mm.
But yesterday he was talking about, I don't remember what was said, but he said something like, yeah, but my part only takes 10 seconds. And I looked over at him and he started giggling.
Of course.
And he was like, no, I know. And we have this our workouts. You either do your workouts, for weight or for time, and for time is you get the workout done as fast as you can for the time cap.
Yeah, of course.
And so he was like, yeah, my part only takes 10 seconds. And then he started giggling. He goes, I know what, we should make a baby for time, to his wife.
Oh my god.
He's like, I'll win my part, I'll be the fastest. It's like, I don't know that you should be
Not sure that's
about
something
that.
to show off about. It's about the staying power more than anything.
Yeah, he's like, no, I win. It's like, oh my gosh.
And this man, no, I'm not going anywhere near that one. Jesus Christ.
But that
Most
cracked
most
me up.
times, if people were doing 10 seconds, they're just like, sorry, that's never happened before.
Yeah, and he's like, no, like, my part's done. I win.
I'm good. Right now another 15 minutes to sort you out.
Oh man, that is.
And that was probably not the best time to do a backup recording.
Oh great.
No, don't worry, they'll all get deleted afterwards anyway.
Well, yeah,
so
but this is
fine.
gonna live on the VOD, which is fine. He'll
I
think
know.
it's hilarious.
He probably will, yeah.
Yeah.
I just meant my backup recording is not going to stay because it gets deleted after this. Luckily, because I've never exercised the one thing of doing outtakes.
Yeah, which is probably good because I've said some incriminating things.
We both have.
Yes.
I'll be back in a second. Hang on.
Okay. As Pete works away in the behind the scenes, I'm so sore. It feels like it has been, doesn't it, Nana? Nana says, oh, it's been a while since Kiley drank wine. Technically, I did drink some on Wednesday, but not excessively. But today, I have a sparkling bottle, literally, of Prosecco. Yes, I see Pete's expression.
Gold. That looks like a gold bottle.
It is gold. Everything I touch turns to gold.
Gold is gold. And then it's put, it's been a while since Kylie drank wine. Lol.
But the word goal is in gold. I haven't even finished
there is no I in team, but there is an I in pie.
Yes.
As in meat pie.
And there's a me in team, by the way.
There is.
And there's a meat in meat. No, there's not at all.
Well, that's what I said. I was doing the reference to sucking Shaun of the Dead there.
Oh man.
Oh, howdy, Max. Good evening, both. I tune in and Kylie has the wine out. That's it's a day ending in Y.
Yeah, there you go. I always have the wine out. Well.
Yes, we'll be. Yep.
Yeah,
We'll be interested to hear more about it on a future episode.
Ooh. Spoilers ahoy.
Yes. I'm glad it went well from what you said to me in private messages. Anyway,
That's very good to hear. But of course it was going to go
yes.
well. There was never any doubt. Never,
No,
never.
it was a great turnout by the looks of it as well. So,
Yeah.
yeah, said I won't say much here, but I'll be back. I'll be back tomorrow, and we'll get a date booked in. Perfect. We'll sort something
Yes.
out, and we'll have that in due course.
Yep.
Why have you named the stream Tee Hee Hee?
Because it rhymes with 3.
Okay, all right, fair enough. I mean, brilliant.
I couldn't think of anything else. I was like, bees? No. D's? Nuts? No.
Oh, for God. Well, I'm glad you went with the safer option.
I should have said 173 CDs. Nuts.
Nana's just put, and then name it Tee Hee Free.
Man, we'll have to remember that for our next spoof of E3.
And Max just put D's nuts.
Yeah.
Lol.
Jesus. And then what did I? Wednesday I did a crotch chop. What am I doing?
You did, yeah. You went full Degeneration X, didn't you?
I guess I'm just turning into a late 90s 10-year-old. I don't know.
You turn into a WWF Attitude Era of wrestler.
You can't go wrong with a crotch chop.
Well, like X-Pac.
Okay, that's the proper term for it, I guess. But
No, that was a wrestler called X-Pac.
oh,
Yeah, Jesus.
I'm aware.
Okay, all right, good.
There was a time, believe it or not, I did. Well, there was a time that everyone watched wrestling.
Myself, yeah, I did.
All boys,
And
all
that
girls, all everyone.
Yep, and that was the golden age.
I have to agree. I know we've got a lot of people. We've got fans that are really big into wrestling, the current gen, and I did try. They've even got Ronda Rousey now, and
yeah,
I forget which one she's wrestling with, but
WWE.
Is it WWE? Okay.
Yeah.
And I just was like, I can't. I tried. It's just not there anymore for me. But
no, it was the same with me with WWE. I wanted to watch it because of Brock Lesnar, but it was like the storylines are not quite what they were like in the era.
Okay, are we ready to get this started in here?
Let's get it started. Yeah, let's not. I am ready though. So
I'm ready.
Recording. I'm in danger. Right. 3.
Welcome to Rapid Reviews Radio.
Hey.
Episode 173. I am your co-host, Kiley Wilde, and I'm joined by my ever-present co-host, Pete Beckett.
Hello.
And we have a kind of interest.
You don't even know what to say about it because you don't even know what the play.
This is very...
I don't read documents, but yet seems to know we have an exciting show ahead.
This is a very unplanned episode, unlike our usual ones that have a structure. Well, it has a structure. It will always have a structure.
It will have a structure, yeah.
I don't know what I'm going to say, which is always fun.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know how Pete is going to wrangle said words coming out of my mouth, so that'll also be fun.
Probably the same way as normal. Not at all.
Or an attempt will be made.
But... an attempt will be made to try and keep you under control that will fail miserably within 5 minutes.
It's true.
There you go, proving my point.
But every week, 473 episodes, Pete. That is insane. I'm going to say that for the next 15, 16, 17 episodes. Wait, I did
17?
No, I did that
You mean
wrong.
27?
I meant 27. Okay. I'm not good at math. But actually, what was I saying? Yes, Pete, I was saying that this is usually the time in the episode where I ask guest who is not here and co-host who is here, how has your week been?
Sorry, hang on. When did we last record? You mean how's the back half of your week been?
How's your back end, Pete?
Um, Sora needs help. No, no.
Uh,
The back end of my week has been fine.
it's good
It's
to hear.
it's thrown me right off.
I know. I do have to apologize to our poor listeners and our beautiful, fabulous watchers that have joined us here tonight. We just did an episode on Wednesday. We are trying, this is what you call time filling. So we are trying to fill time. So it's going to be, what, Pete? I see the expression. You were going to say something. And I'm glad you
No,
didn't.
I was trying to think of the word, but I can't think of the word. So
Yes, most of this is ad libbed. Is that what you meant? Ad libbed? Because that is what we're doing.
no, I was more thinking of trying to numb the time between now and the ad breaks on TV.
Yes, we're padding out the time.
That's the one. Thank you,
Yes,
padding. Was what I was looking for.
yes. So Pete, okay. Anything? Do you have anything you want to add for your week at all? It would be good.
Yes, I went out and watched the Women's World Cup final today. It was
Yes.
unfortunate we lost, but it was fun spent with friends, so I can't
See,
argue with that.
that's all that matters. Like,
Yes.
I have to be honest. I don't care about football. I have to be honest. I have to be honest. But if I had a group of friends that were into football, I would go and watch it with them. And
Yeah, I
then,
mean that was basically one of my friends, not absolutely no interest in
yeah,
football whatsoever, but was there because, and I quote his words, I was there just vibing.
vibing. Well, see, and over
Yeah.
here in the beautiful green land of Ire, as in Ireland, we say we do it for the crack. So,
Yes, I've heard that plenty of times before as well.
yeah. Nana says the back end of his week has been Genshin and Tomb Raider. That's it. Oh, Tomb Raider.
I want to know which Tomb Raider as well.
Oh, yes, yes. Hmm.
Yes, but anyway, whilst we wait, how's the rest of your week been?
So, my week's been insane. Levels of insanity that have yet to be recorded in human history. Um,
Sure about that?
after I get through with this, yes. Sure about
Okay,
that.
all right.
But
Are you
yes,
sure about that?
sure about that. And he was in Barbie movie. Anyway, my point being, so there is. I was going to say a character, but it's not. It's a real human. By the name of Rich Froning, who is a CrossFit like legend. He's like
Mm.
the fittest man on earth, you know, type of thing. And he is like, I hate the phrase influencer, but that is what he is. You know, he owns a
Mm.
CrossFit gym. He's just a brand. He's a walking brand, and he's notorious for his workout schedules and stuff like this. This man lives to work out because that's his bread and butter in the most literal sense of the word. So he works out from like 6 a.m. to 7 p.m. at night. That's what he does. So my wonderful, fabulous gym had it in their idea that we were going to do a Rich Froning Day. Boy, howdy did we ever. It started, I kid you not, at 6 a.m. on the beach, which meant I had to get up at 5 a.m., which all of our lovely listeners and watchers would know. I go to bed around 4 or 4:30 a.m. So I had to get up at 5 a.m., drive to a beach. I was filming. I didn't do that many workouts. I'm not going to lie. Filming's a workout in itself because I had to keep up with these people. And these people are like fit. They're like real athletes.
So, what kind of a camera were you using? Is it just an iPhone or?
I was using like 3 different cameras. I had this as my stationary camera. It's my little Sony hand cam.
Yep.
I had a DSLR filming and then
Mm-hmm.
a phone for additional shots. So
Ah,
I'm going
okay.
to be editing
But you're
all
still
week.
but you're still having to run
Oh,
with
I
said
had to
cameras.
run the whole. Yeah. I was running, and I had to get in the ocean with them. I didn't go as
Well,
far as they did.
that's what I was trying to work out. Is you are still doing a workout because operating a camera whilst running alongside them is
Yes.
still a workout.
Yep. And then, so then finish that, head back, refeed. Well, they refeed. I don't because I can't eat what they eat anyway. It's like wheat based, you know.
Yeah.
Chilled for an hour. Did the second workout. The second workout was an hour long. An hour long cardio workout.
Oh dear. I mean, that's you gone.
I was like, no, I'm not doing this one. So I just filmed. Which again is still me up and running and jumping and stuff, but not like they were doing. Come back,
I
chill.
won't do cardio. Then persist on doing cardio with a camera.
Come back, chilled. They ate again. Next workout, which was a lifting workout, so of course I joined in on that one.
Oh, of course you did.
Yeah, I did. Okay, chilled, rested. Did the next workout, which I joined in because I'm insane. It was a cardio workout, but it involved this thing called sled pulling that I really wanted to do, which is kind of what it sounds like. It's a big, heavy iron sled that they tie a big, giant rope to, and you have to pull it in.
Oh, right. Imagine that's something they would probably do for strongman competitions.
Yeah, it is. Which, I was like, my turn. But in order to do that, I had to row and bike a certain amount. Because it's called a buy-in. Because us gym weirdos, like, we want to do stuff like that. Like, I want to flip tires. I want to pull the sled. I want to, carry sandbags and stuff. So in order to do the stuff that I like doing, I have to do the cardio stuff. Anyway, got through that workout. Died 5,000 deaths. Then they all took ice baths.
Of course.
And I was like, nope. This is Northern Ireland. I ain't taking an ice bath because it will hurt very badly.
I am not saying anything more.
Nope. So I recorded them doing that, and then we ate so much food. Like, it was unbelievable. And then we all went home and died. Like, we were all in the WhatsApp group today going, who hurts? I do.
And was this yesterday then?
This was yesterday.
Okay, that's why you're still all over the place then.
Oh, yeah. To get downstairs took an element of strength that I am not sure that I possess, but apparently I do because here I am. So, which this doesn't sound like a good advertisement for CrossFit, but it totally is. You should go to CrossFit. It's fun. You get to pull sleds and then die. But, and then outside of that, of course, I'm still on that Minecraft thing. Still at my Minecraft BS.
Of course you are.
You should see it. I'm building a coffee shop right now.
You showed me that last week after we finished recording, I think.
Oh, I've started...
Well, no. I say last week. Wednesday.
Wednesday. Yes. See? This is why this episode is a little wonky, y'all. Just bear with this because it's gonna get good, I promise. But
is it?
If we believe
it will be.
They will believe it. Yes. Fake it till you make it. But
I keep hearing that this week.
Oh, right. I'm not touching that one. For many reasons.
No, it was in relation to a single friend saying about confidence in the dating pool.
Oh.
And I said, if you're not very confident, then you can fake it till you make it.
Yes. So that was one thing that I was going to mention. So.
Wow, it's almost like I read your mind.
I know. Whoa, it's like we've been co-hosts for almost 4 years. No. What? Okay, so I am starting this whole new nutrition thing because I want to drop weight. I want to look so freaking good at Christmas and all the Christmas dresses because I might have really good biceps, but I also am still a girl and I'm very girly too. So I'm a weird hybrid mix. But that means I have to get strict with my nutrition and other things. I have to get strict with my focus. And so after a consultation with my trainer, he was like, no distractions. Because I'm a little bit boy crazy. He's like, none? Nope. And I was like, yeah, but, what if, this, really cute 5'8" guy comes in, because I like short guys. I was like, 5'8" guy comes in, and he's, really good at video games. He's like, Kiley!
That is a distraction.
I was like, yeah, but what if he's just slightly creative? He's like, Kiley, no! Focus! You have to focus. And, so this week, the next few weeks will be me focusing on goals. All the goals. Not this goal.
Good.
Because once I accomplish my other goals, all the other goals will fall into place. It's the thought process on
that's
that.
That's the thinking behind it, I guess.
I don't
I
know.
mean, do they know you?
Um, well, that's the thing. But the good thing is that currently at the gym, everyone's married or paired up,
Mm-hmm.
and the new people that are coming in are paired up. So it's cool. It's cool. I think it's happening on purpose, you
Okay.
know? And, but, if anybody. Nope. Focus. I'm focusing.
Yeah, stay focused.
Yep. And, so I had one more thing to add, but I think the wine's kicking in. So that's always a signal for Pete to take over and tell us what the show's about while I try and remember the thing that I was going to say. Take it away,
Okay.
Pete.
Hi, we're doing news this. What a surprise! Look,
Oh gosh, this
we only
episode.
recorded a few weeks ago. We
A
had
few weeks ago,
specific
you
topic,
mean
but a
days?
few days ago. Jesus. Damn it.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
I knew
Pete.
rushing back for this was a bad idea.
Oh, we gotta do it though. We
I
gotta get
know,
back
I know.
on our
Look,
schedule.
yeah, I know. So we're covering news, despite the fact that we had a couple of bigger topics that we sort of dealt with during the week.
Those were good topics. Go watch that show.
There has been a couple of things that have happened over the last few days that we can delve into and discuss. So I guess we'll get straight into it, and we'll cover this first. We're going to cover a couple of bits of news from a
Yay!
I don't know, certain Japanese company called Sega.
Sega.
Thank you.
I miss it so much.
Specifically a subsidiary, or not, I say a
Well,
subsidiary, a studio that is run by Sega,
okay.
which I am never ever going to be able to pronounce the name of correctly, which is Gakoto,
Sure.
Gotoku, RGG, RGG.
Yeah, there you go. That works.
RGG have published a new overview trailer and developer update for Like a Dragon Gaiden, the man who erased his name.
Oh, that's cool. I think we talked about that.
We talked about it being announced.
Yeah, that makes me very happy.
Yes. Anyway, I will talk about this. Read this article, and then we'll go through.
Discuss. Yes.
Then we can discuss.
Okay.
Flipping heck.
We're gonna make it, Pete. We're gonna make it. We're 27 minutes in.
If we try.
Oh gosh.
Right. Anyway, so publisher Sega announced in June that the Yakuza spin-off, which you can't call it Yakuza anymore, Like a Dragon.
Why can't we call it Yakuza anymore?
Because the Japanese name was Like a Dragon.
Oh, I didn't.
And they've now unified it across the world because
Right.
Yakuza is Like a Dragon. Anyway, so it was stupid anyway because the last game in the series, which was Yakuza 7 Like a Dragon, is now known as Like a Dragon, like a Dragon, like a Dragon.
But does that mean that Resident Evil then becomes Biohazard?
No, because it's a more popular name over in the West for Resident Evil.
Okay.
I know, it's strange. I never really understood that. Anyway, so announced the Yakuza spin-off will be released on the 9th of November 2023 for PS4, PS5, Series S and X, Xbox One and PC. Do I go for the PC launch? Don't know. Anyway, you look like you wanted to say something.
Oh no, I just noticed in chat, and I remember we were going to do chat after you finished reading, but that's
Yes.
okay. Yes. Max says this sounds good. I like the Yakuza Like a Dragon games. Yeah, they're very entertaining. Yeah. They're so well done.
Yes, they are. Anyway, so in today's video update, this was coming from a few days ago. RGG studio director Masayoshi Yakuyama. Oh God, Japanese names. Which has always been my problem. Announced that the game will include, and you might like this if you're a big fan, a demo of Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, which is coming to the same platforms in 2024. So that is the new game, the game in the series that includes holy shite, I can't even remember his bloody name.
I know, we saw a teaser for it at the last
we did, and it was a very humorous teaser. So
it looked really good.
Why is it? Oh, that's it, Ichiban.
I was gonna say, you said his name that night.
I know. Yeah, I was having. Look, I had a mind fart. All right.
You're more than that. But yes.
Anyway,
We're gonna make it. We're gonna make it. That's
we
the
are.
episode title. We're gonna make it.
Yeah. Okay. Right. So this is a quote. We were planning to save more detailed information about the game until just before launch, but we really wanted to respond to your excitement. He said. Therefore, we decided to bring you a more in-depth look at the story and gameplay. So there was a trailer that was featured on this article. I haven't seen it yet because I don't want to.
Oh,
Anyway.
that's right. Pete doesn't like. Well, spoilers, really.
Well, it's not even just that. It's just I think I know I'm buying this game, so I
Yeah.
don't need to see anything more about it. So, anyway, Like a Dragon Gaiden, the man who erased his name, tells the story of Kazuma Kiryu, who faked his death. Spoilers.
Okay.
And disappeared from public eye to protect his loved ones. So, sorry, spoilers for Yakuza 6. I mean, it's right there in the article. What am I supposed to do?
That was unavoidable.
Yeah. So, quote, for fans who have enjoyed the series since Yakuza Like a Dragon, this title will provide the best insight into the personality of Kazuma Kiryu. How will his story unfold as he fights against enemies? Please enjoy the battle action and experience it for yourself. There is so much I would like to personally share with you, but we prepared a new trailer to showcase the gameplay and story. And it's also expected to be digital only in the West.
Ooh. Well, we know Pete's feelings on that. He prefers physical. I prefer digital. Oh,
I'll be able to find a way.
Ah, Pete always finds a way.
Play Asia.
Right. That's right. Yeah. Nana says, it's fine, I'm still on Yakuza 0. That's probably the best
technically, me too. Well, playing wise, yes, I'm still on Yakuza 0. Watching wise, no. I'm well beyond that point now. Oh, I just couldn't see myself going back to try and play the PS2 era games because they are apparently very, very difficult to go back to and play now.
I will also admit that usually if it depends on what era, depends on what console. I will sometimes go back and just watch Let's Plays of it. I will. Before they did some of the Resident Evil remakes. Yeah, because I remember playing the original Resident Evils and they were hard back then. I mean, I was a kid, but still.
I mean, to be fair, even the Resident Evil remake that was on GameCube, wonderful game, still quite tough to play because it still includes tank controls.
Yeah, I hate tank controls.
Yeah,
but yes, so
yes, yeah, Nana, you are correct. Kiwami 1 and 2 were the remakes of 1 and 2.
Right.
But yeah, trying to go back and play 3.
Yeah, see, I wouldn't do that. I would Let's Play it. Yeah.
Yes, sort of a similar thing with Yakuza, because I know they had the remastered collection, which included 3, 4, and 5.
Yes.
But they apparently, according to people who have played them a lot more than I have, they didn't really do a lot with them other than just remastering them.
Yeah.
So.
I believe that is.
Yeah, and I think 3 was back end of PS2, and then 4 and 5 were PS3, I believe.
I think so. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that is correct.
Yes. So yeah, unfortunately, it does look like it's getting a digital-only release in the West, but hey, look, I'll deal with that because more Like a Dragon, can't complain.
Yeah.
They are a good studio who knows how to have a very good narrative, so good. I like to see more. So, do you want to talk about Steam? Because I like talking about Steam.
I always like talking about Steam. I have several games I really want to play that's on Steam right now.
Okay. Is one of them by any chance Overwatch 2?
Oh, gosh. No, I actually got a few sessions in on here, and I'm just not feeling it anymore.
I mean, you were big on Overwatch when it first came out as well, so...
Really big on Overwatch.
Okay, well, do you want to know someone who did want to discuss Overwatch 2 on Steam?
Who's that, Pete?
The director of Overwatch 2.
I don't remember who that is.
Doesn't matter because the
Can't match.
director of Overwatch 2 has addressed the review bombing the game has been receiving on Steam since its launch on the platform last week.
Okay, let's address this. I definitely want to hear this.
I thought we'd add this in because it
Yeah.
would be fun.
Okay.
So, the game launched on Steam last Thursday, and at the time of writing, has just passed 150,000 user reviews, which Steve says are overwhelmingly negative.
I can't imagine.
Steam stats say that only around 9% of user submitted reviews are positive, with many players taking the opportunity to criticize the game's free to play structure and its ditching of much hype hero missions.
Yes.
So, in a post on the Overwatch blog, Aaron Keller acknowledged the response and he says he understands the reasoning behind it. Ooh, interesting. Anyway, let's read the quotes, shall we? Because these are going to be fun. So, we also launched. So I quote: "We also launched on Steam last week, and although being review bombed isn't a fun experience, it's been great to see a lot of new players jump into Overwatch 2 for the first time." Keller wrote. Our goal with Overwatch 2 has been to make the game more accessible than ever for people than ever before. Many of the reviews on Steam mention a cancellation of the much larger component of PvE that was announced in 2019 as one of their primary reasons for dissatisfaction with the game. I get that. That announcement was about an ambitious project that we ultimately couldn't deliver. So, anyway, I'll continue on. So,
that should be Overwatch 2's like subheading. Everything we couldn't deliver, because everything on the like, oh, this is what it's gonna be, this is what it's gonna be, has not come to fruition.
Overwatch 2 delivery failure.
There you go, Pete.
Yes. After conceding that the hero missions were beyond the capabilities of the team, Keller stated that the plan remains to continue improving the game in the hope that fans will be won over.
No, it won't happen. Can't talk about it yet.
Too late. Anyway, let me finish reading this because there's not much left, and then we can discuss. So, quote: "If we can't turn back the clock, then what can we do?" He wrote. "We can keep adding to and improving Overwatch 2. This is how we move forward. This means more maps, heroes, game modes, missions, stories, events, cool cosmetics and features, an ever-expanding, evolving, and improving game. This is the future of Overwatch, one where we will continually create and innovate on what is making the game great now for the players who are playing now."
Okay.
Anyway, I don't need to read anything.
No, because I said this years ago. I can't believe we've been doing the show for years, Pete. But first of all, I never thought Overwatch 2 was going to ever launch anyway, because it was never ready. And then they launched it, and it clearly
you really
wasn't.
did.
No, I didn't.
You
think
really
it was.
didn't think so.
No.
You were like, "This is getting cancelled."
Yeah. I'm like, no way, no way, no way, not in its current state are they going to release it. And then they did. And I was just like, whoa. And I was hopeful. I was hopeful for like the first day. And then everyone started to play it, and it was like, oh, this is not good. There was no reason to launch Overwatch 2. There was nothing wrong with Overwatch 1. They could have just redid it like I mean, they did was it World of Warcraft? They do that. You know, it's Blizzard.
Blizzard, yeah.
Yeah. So they like remastered WoW or whatever. I'm probably using the wrong terms. I don't play WoW, but
well, they had they had Warcraft 3 Reforged, didn't they? And they completely botched the hell out of that.
They messed that up, which also made me quite upset. But I mean, they like actually improved like the textures, the servers, and everything like that for WoW a few years ago. And I thought, well, that's all you have to do for Overwatch. And then they were insistent upon launching this spectacle, and literally no one I know who played Overwatch has ever enjoyed Overwatch 2.
I know one person, I think, on my that used to be on my X or Twitter feed that obviously I don't know of much anymore because I don't use it. They were very excited about it, and they still regularly play it, I believe.
Well, that's good. I mean, I'm glad that there are people out there that are happy about it, of course.
Yeah.
Because I always want fans to be happy. Um, well, I want everyone to be happy, not just fans. But for me personally, it's been a disaster after disaster after disaster, and my just hope just faded, and then I've completely lost interest.
Mm.
And it
It's a
sucks.
shame, really.
Yeah, it does because it was a good FPS. It was very good competitive FPS. It was fun. Um, it was pretty strong. Like it just was good. It was just good. Just full stop. It was just good. And it's very disappointing to see almost this kind of like legacy be destroyed
Mm.
for, I guess, greed. I'm not sure. I'm gonna assume it's greed, but
I don't know if it is greed specifically. I just think it's this over egging the pudding, let's call it, and hyping up the game far
oh,
too
it was
much and not
so
being able to
overhyped.
deliver on everything that they promised. This
Overwatched,
eight.
more like overhyped.
Uh,
I
brilliant.
am.
Okay. Yeah, it was. Yeah, it just they over egged it. They really wanted to try hard to obviously make it worthwhile sequel and just didn't
No.
really do that, which is unfortunate,
I don't know
because
how they're
they've
gonna.
now essentially split their player base.
Well, that's what I'm
Because
saying. I don't know how they're gonna get. They can't walk it back. They are right in that they can't go back in time. So that part they're correct on.
yeah,
But their ideas going forward aren't gonna bring in new players. That seems to be what they're focused on, is bringing in new players. But
they'll never get back those old players that they had from Overwatch 1 because
yeah,
that bridge is now burned when they shut down the servers.
yeah, exactly. Oh no, uh,
I know, but you've got more knowledge of this than I have. I never really played Overwatch.
yeah. Well, it's not real. Well, no, not your style. I had to run through that. Well, because there's a little bit of platforming, and then I remembered us on Destiny, and it's like, no, no, it's not your style.
No, I played it. Like I said, I played a few matches of it, and
Yeah, but it's not your.
it didn't gel. It didn't gel with me at all. So I was just like, you know what? I'll just give this back to the person I borrowed it from. Well, because
Yeah,
I'd stopped playing it at that point, so I was like, I might as well
yeah,
just at least try it.
yeah,
It was free, at least.
yeah.
Speaking of things that are not free and cost a lot of money,
Ooh, me. No, I'm kidding.
Sega has officially completed its
Sega.
acquisition of Angry Birds developer Rovio Entertainment.
Right. Why did I think Tencent owned them? It's just me. I don't know.
I don't know.
I could
Anyway,
have
in
sworn.
April, Sega Sammy Holdings
Mhm.
stated its plans to make a tender offer to acquire the entirety of Rovio's outstanding shares and options at a total cost of 706 million euros or $776 million.
That is a lot of money. That's a lot of millions.
Well, if you remember who Rovio are, then it sort of makes sense why it's that much.
I don't
Today, the
remember.
official Sega Twitter account posted an image of Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles teaming up with the Angry Birds,
Oh
confirming that the
dear.
merger had been completed.
Oh my.
That's why I said if you remember who they were.
Oh goodness. Well,
Yes, the
there.
tweet reads, "Welcome to the Sega family, Rovio. We're so thrilled to celebrate Rovio becoming a member of the Sega group. Get ready for exciting adventures ahead. Guarantee the first crossover
Ah,
with Angry Birds is Sonic.
of course it is.
And I guarantee that some of the Angry Birds are going to come to a
Oh, I'm
Sonic
sure.
game of some
I
sorts,
mean,
maybe as a costume."
that or like when Sonic like saves things, little birdies come out, so that could work.
Oh no, I wish you hadn't have willed that into
He's
existence.
gonna save all the little birdies.
Oh god, it
All
might
little
be a
angry
bit.
birds.
It might be a bit too late for Sonic Superstars.
Oh.
It might be a bit too late for that
It's never too late. Relaunch.
DLC patch.
Yeah, deal. There you go. That's it.
I'll blatantly guarantee that they'll add it in as some sort of DLC later on. God damn it!
Oh
I
my
wish you hadn't have
gosh.
willed that into
And the
existence. You do know
little.
that Sega Sammy listen to this? No, they don't
Yes, they
really.
do. They listen every week. And the little piggies. The little piggies could be with Robot Man, Mr. Robotnik, Eggman, dude.
Eggman,
I don't
Doctor
know.
Robotnik, Mr. Robotnik.
Mr. Robotic Eggman.
No, that was his father. Oh,
Yes.
God. Anyway, so when announced in April, the acquisition was considered a friendly takeover, as Sega stated that Rovio's board of directors had agreed to and expressed support towards the tender offer. Sega has also stated that it expected to close the deal by the end of September. Ooh, ahead of schedule.
I was gonna say, that's quick.
Ah, interesting. Not saying anything more. According to its statement at the time, Sega has acquired the Angry Birds studio to bolster its own live service mobile game portfolio. No surprise there. It wants to use Rovio's distinctive know-how in live service mobile gaming operation to bring Sega's current and new titles to the global mobile gaming market, where there is a large potential.
Nice.
So, and at the same time, Sega also claims that Rovio wants to go beyond mobile games and wants to help it accomplish this. I mean, they had the capital clearly to be able to do so themselves.
That's true.
But anyway, it's exciting, I guess, for them. You know, for both parties involved, it's clearly like it was a decision that's clearly worked for both of them. They both have interests in each other's markets.
I was gonna say it's actually a good match, if I'm being honest.
I'm not going to disagree with you, to be honest.
Yeah.
You know, Sega has a very large portfolio of games, but let's be honest, their portfolio of games has fallen by the wayside over the last few years. You know, to the point where they mostly rely on the Sonic property,
Yeah.
Like a Dragon,
Yeah.
and Persona,
Yes, that's correct.
because Atlas are owned by Sega.
That's right. I had to think about that for a second.
Yes. So, whereas Rovio, obviously, they are a mobile developer that wants to break into the console gaming market, and we all know what ballooning budgets are like when it comes to the console market.
It's insane. That's why we don't have any games right now.
Yep. So yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with this particular acquisition. I just think that there's a lot of money involved again, but
yes,
it's just the nature of the beast, I guess.
it's true. We'll have to see what comes of it.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see what happens as a result of it. To be honest with you, there's a bit more here, but I can't be bothered to discuss it. It's just going over like business spiel. So I'm gonna bring up the next.
Oh, we got a new follower, Big Jesse. As
Oh, howdy.
Hello.
Hello. Thank you very much. So, anyway, he said, Big Jesse said, "Good evening."
Oh, good evening to you. On this
Thank you very much. Anyway, so let's go over this next story. Okay. And because a little bit of time has passed, I want to ask a question. Was The Last of Us on HBO overrated?
Okay, wait, Pete. I have to get to that question, but I do want to say
thanks
so much, Max. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh yes, for our listeners at home, Big Jesse's here is on Mag's recommendation, which is very appreciated.
Thank you very much.
Okay, Pete, do you want me to answer that truthfully?
Yes.
You know my answer. No, but I do have. I mean, I do have criticisms of it.
I mean, we both did at the time. Yeah. I think there were things that we said that we weren't particularly fond of. There were things that we were particularly fond of.
Episode 3 is still some of the best television I've ever seen in my life.
Yep, I will still agree with that.
And then Pete and I we agree that the ending was rushed.
Yep. And
stuff. And Big Jesse says that because we've been sat watching you for nearly an hour long.
I mean, that sounds more co-opted than recommended. But I appreciate it nonetheless.
No, we
Thank
always
you.
appreciate it. But yes, that last episode, I'd say the last 3 episodes, if I'm honest, were rushed
I agree.
and hurried. And I hate that because it is some beautiful television. But Pete, go ahead with your terrible story that I'm going to hate. But go ahead.
The Last of Us showrunner, Craig Mazin, has suggested that the popular HBO series could run for 4 seasons.
I read that as well.
So in an interview with The Hollywood Reporter, Mazin was asked if HBO had provided a good budget bump for season 2 given the show's success and scope. Quote, "There's always a budget bump, and then there's a discussion about why it's not enough of a budget bump," he replied. It's never enough.
It's never enough.
Okay, so quote,
I want to talk about
for
this.
as long as I've been doing this, I have never, ever, not once, been in a situation where I was like, what I need is this. And they're like, okay. It eventually gets to this, holds hands at the same level, so I'm not concerned about that. Don't know what that means, but you know.
This,
Yeah, I'm
this,
fully aware.
yeah,
It's just,
something like that.
it's more of a thing that you probably would do when it's, you know, a video interview, not quite an audio, like
Yeah.
a print one, but hey, you know.
It's not the best journalism technique.
Not particularly. But
Rolling Stone
anyway,
uses that a lot, though.
they do. And quote, even if we have a principled debate about what is required to execute a second season, a third season, and a fourth season, what I always know is that they are always working in good faith and appreciate the creative value of the show.
Chat, or specifically Nana says the thought that's on everyone's minds. How would that work? Oh, we're gonna talk about it.
I think we'll get to that in a moment because I think there's more to this article than I think that most people thought there was. So anyway,
Yes,
so the
you're about to hit the line I want to talk about, but go for it.
The interviewer later followed up on this, asking Mazin if the vision for the show he and Naughty Dog President Neil Druckmann laid out to HBO was for 4 seasons. Quote, I was aware that I mentioned that, he said. You never know. It can end up being 3 or 5, but 4 seems like a good number. Some seasons, because of the story we're telling, will need fewer episodes and some will need more. Over the course of 9 episodes, the show's debut season covered the events of The Last of Us, which was released at the tail end of the PS3 generation in 2013, and its downloadable expansion, Left Behind, which released the following year. Don't really need to know much about that. Anyway, it's been a critical commercial success, becoming HBO's most streamed shows of all time and nominated for 24 Emmys.
Which it deserves, in my very humble opinion. We do want to hear what our audience thinks about that. If you've seen The Last of Us.
We won't spoil anything if you haven't seen it.
No spoilers. No spoilers, don't worry.
No, but if you've played the game, you know what you can encounter.
Yeah.
So, anyway, Druckmann, who also co-wrote and directed the game series on which the show is based, not technically true because he wasn't director of the first game.
No, he was not. But go ahead.
No. And Mazin previously confirmed their intention to make a 3rd season by suggesting that season 2 wouldn't be able to cover the entirety of The Last of Us Part 2, which was released on PS4 in 2020. So, Mazin reiterated that this in the Hollywood Reporter interview, during which he was also asked about the role of Abby from the second game had already been cast.
See, okay, I want to talk about that.
Maybe, he said, before later adding, the strike stopped us in our tracks.
Okay, that is actually true.
Yeah, things were in process. Look, Abby was the first role that we wanted to tackle. We've got a pretty good track record of making major cast announcements and people going, really? Which will probably continue. So people may disagree, but I think we've got it right so far, and the audience seems to feel we got it right, and the Academy seems to feel we got it right. Anyway. Druckmann had previously appeared to hint at plans for a 3rd Last of Us game, although it's unclear if one is currently in development.
Whatever.
Well, I would think if you're doing a 4th season, or up to 4 seasons, that is highly possible.
Or at least DLC will be 100%.
Unless, of course, there is an ongoing narrative in this, quote, Last of Us online game that they're potentially doing.
Oh, that thing. Yeah, that I used to think was never going to happen, but since the HBO series was so successful, I think they have to. I think there's kind of an onus on that. Oh, yeah, Mag says there is that multiplayer Last of Us game.
Exactly. What I just said.
Yeah. All right, Pete, are we ready to talk about this? I'm ready to talk about this, Scarlett.
I'm ready to talk about it as well, so crack on.
Okay. Now, Pete and I do have slightly differing opinions on this. Oh, no, can't believe it. But
Big shot.
I think The Last of Us is a very... Well, first, we'll talk about the game. I've said this repeatedly. The Last of Us original game, very wonderfully written, great narrative, not great gameplay. The gunplay was terrible, awful. It was clunky.
So shocking.
Yeah, whoa, big shock. Um, so if you're looking for like a very technical, graphical, high into graphics and that type of game, Last of Us not really for you. But if you're into like narrative heavy storytelling, which I am, I enjoyed it very much. Last of Us Part
It's a
2,
wonderful game.
it is. Last of Us Part 2, I hate and despise and wish it would die in a fire.
Well, I watched the entirety of the game after it came out, after we covered it in depth, just
Mm-hmm.
because of the leaks, and I went, "Oh God,
Yeah.
most Last of Us fans are probably gonna hate this."
I played it to a certain point where I stopped and said I hate this game and then finished it with Let's Plays. So then The Last of Us, the TV series came out, which I was so hyped for when they announced it years ago. I think it was 2017 when they announced it. 2018.
It was a long, long
It was
time
2018.
ago. It was in development for a fair while.
Yeah. And then I was like less hype when it was announced that it was going to be Pedro Pascal. I was like, okay, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And then what's her face got cast, and I was
Bella
like,
Ramsey.
I do love me some Game of Thrones, so that's kind of cool that they're both on there. But I was a little bit nervous. And then the teaser came out and it was amazing. And then we did a whole series on this show about The Last of Us TV show.
God.
We did several episodes about it. And
I mean, that was a 9-week endeavor.
it was, that's what she said. But again, I'm reiterating exactly what I said earlier, which is, first of all, episode 3 is some of the most beautiful television I've ever seen. Full stop. Hands down. Everything up until the last 3 episodes, fabulous. Rushed, blah, blah, blah. So then we were sitting here. We've got season 2 coming. We know that's going to happen. How are they going to handle it? Blah, blah, blah. Season 2 is supposed to be based on Last of Us Part 2. I'm still not going to say spoilers, but there is a rough, disappointing. Depends on your. No, I think it's disappointing to everyone.
It depends on who you are, because some people do like it as a narrative choice.
They do. And
they're very few and far between, but
I'm like, I don't know what's wrong with you. But I cannot understand. Okay. I'm going to try to do this without spoilers, guys. I am trying really hard. The article that I read, the showrunner or the director, I can't remember, said that one of the key components of The Last of Us Part 2, he was going to put that off as long as he could, because he knew as soon as that happened, the fan base was going to disappear. I will be one of those fans. I've said this so many times. I'm not watching The Last of Us Season 2. Even as much as I loved Last of Us Season 1, and because I love The Last of Us Season 1, I can't put myself through Season 2. I'll never recover. I'll have to have like 5 bottles of wine. So I am hesitating on that. And I've said that Pete will have to do the reports on those, because I don't think I have the emotional fortitude to make it through Last of Us Season 2.
I'll watch it, and if it gets to that point where that unfortunate golfing incident happens,
Yes,
then
there you go.
Oh,
yeah. I really hate golf, but I like what Mag says, which is I know what you're gonna say. yeah, that part.
Yeah,
I don't think I can watch it.
Yeah, I don't know if I can.
How are they going to stretch it out to 4 or 5 seasons? Like, there is a lot of DLC that they didn't explore, which would be good. It could be good, but I don't know. How are they going to handle this one?
So, part of me feels that Season 2 might be a filler season. Do you know how anime does like massive amounts of like filler episodes?
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of the time is sort of bulking out the 4 years between the incidents of Last of Us Part 1 and the start of Last of Us Part 2, where they're obviously making their way back to back to Jackson, isn't it?
Yeah, there's a whole, I think it's 10 years. I might be wrong.
I'm sure it was only 4, because I'm sure, or 5, because I think Ellie's 14 or 15 in the first game, and then she's 19 in the second game.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so I'm wrong. I just for some reason put her older. Mag says they can't win. If they don't do it, people will hate on it. If they do it, they're going to annoy other people. And yeah. And I think they knew that going in.
I think they even knew that going into the second game anyway.
Well, that too. Um, I really do wonder. That's why I can't say 100%. And I don't know how you feel, Pete. You say how you feel, but I can't 100% say I'm not going to watch The Last of Us season 2. But
Mm.
I strongly feel that I'm not going to. you know?
I mean, I'm more than willing to
I can't do
take the bullet for that one
the
because
emotional hit. I'll be destroyed.
it's not even just the emotional hit for me. I did enjoy the first season to a certain
So did
degree. I think there were certain episodes that were rushed in a major way, and
yeah,
looking back
but
on certain bits of it, I think it was slightly overrated because at
see,
the time,
mhm.
the hive mind was this is the best show in the world, and now that temperature has sort of come down a little bit, and people were like, it was good TV, but it wasn't the greatest, and that's probably where I sit.
Well, see, I was gonna say. So he came to me a few weeks ago and said, I don't remember if you said or you asked, do you think it was overhyped or whatever?
Yeah,
And I
I
was like,
asked.
yeah, and I was shocked because to me it's some of the best television. But like I said, it is rushed right at the end, and I don't know why they did that. But I will say,
Um,
mm-hmm,
I think that some of the reason why it was rushed, and this is trying not to delve too much into spoilers for
yeah,
people who
we have to be
haven't
careful.
seen it,
Mm-hmm.
um, but the fact that episode 7 was solely centered on the DLC
I really enjoyed episode
probably
7.
didn't particularly help because you
Yeah.
already have like
Oh, I
you
see. They were running out of time.
they were running
Right.
out of
I
time,
know.
and then they probably could have had that as a focus for episode 1 of season 2
Right.
as a
Right.
flashback to how we got here.
You know what, Pete? I'm gonna agree
Um,
with you.
and then,
Surprisingly.
whilst it was excellent television, obviously, episode 3 is a side story that had absolutely nothing to do with the main narrative of
Yeah.
the actual story, like the main story.
Yeah.
So that it delved an hour away from runtime to cover a side story that never had that kind of weight in the game anyway.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Still great,
I know.
beautiful television. Oh, shut up. Um, but I also was thinking the other day when I was just kind of rewatching a couple of scenes here and there. We had Richard on here, Nintendo Mal
Yes.
5. And we had, probably I wish it would have been viewed and listened to a little bit more, but that's okay. I think it's my fault for naming it Daddy
Yeah.
Issues, the
Yeah.
TV show. But
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
I
Yeah,
thought
not
that was
not SEO friendly.
I thought this was the best name for it ever. But all the little things that he picked up that I completely missed, it
Mm.
actually just made me I love those first few episodes. I think that they're just absolutely beautiful television. I would love to see we have so much that is okay. Tangent time. We need a little tangent
Oh,
bullshit.
it's the first one.
Boop boop.
Right,
Yes.
whilst you're on the tangent, hang on.
Oh, okay.
Karen.
Pete just leaves when I'm on a tangent. But no, I've been watching. I said this a couple of weeks ago. I might have said, crap, we recorded on Wednesday. I may have even said this on Wednesday. But I've been watching, or I finished out American Gods. American Gods, not great. First season. Second season, I loved, but everyone said is awful, but I loved it. Season 3 was terrible. So, not great television. And then I'm started on Doom Patrol, which I'd seen a little bit of. I actually surprisingly like it. I'm not gonna say it's great television, but I like it. It has a very Deadpool feel, which I love Deadpool, so that works. But I mean, there's not a lot of like, oh, Jonathan, yay, but Jonathan, haven't you subscribed like a million times? Jonathan's the best.
27 months.
That's insane. Jonathan, you are insane in the membrane. It's always great having you here.
Thank you.
Yep. I'm glad you can join us. But you keep us afloat. You're the reason we exist. But I said all of that to say that there's so little good quality television on currently. And The Last of Us was such a breath of fresh air for me personally because The Witcher, I'm sorry, the writing sucks. It sucks so bad.
I
It's
mean,
like,
you even said that about season 1.
yeah, wasn't the biggest fan of season 1, but I go through it. Season 2, I was like, what? Like,
Let me guess, you haven't even bothered with season
I
3.
have not even bothered with season 3, not at
Let
all.
me let me just say
Ooh,
I
Black
know
Mirror.
what happens towards the end. And
Mm-hmm.
I know that in part 2 of season 3, because someone has calculated the time,
Oh gosh.
that Henry Cavill's Geralt is
Uh-huh.
only in there for minutes. Mere nearly
Yeah.
single digit minutes as well.
Nope. Nope. Nope.
A
Nope.
show called The Witcher
Yeah, see, that's silly to
doesn't
me.
have its title character in it for the vast
If
majority of it.
if they want to make a show about Yennefer, who is such a weakly written character in that series, they
Just
should just
make a
make it.
Yennefer show.
Yeah. But anyway, that's my personal opinion aside. So I said all that to say that The Last of Us is good, high quality television. I hated to see that it got rushed. I would hate to see the quality drop, as I've mentioned it so many times that I can't help it, guys. It's my favorite series, Game of the Thrones. Yes, I'm a real fan. Game of Thrones. Such, like, it was so high quality and good television, and then they just pooped the bed, dropped the ball, and just was like, we just want to get done with this so we can go work on our other series, which got canceled. So ha
What?
ha.
Blood Origin, was it?
The showrunners, who are affectionately known as D&D, they actually cut Game of Thrones short because they were
Oh,
going to
yes,
make
of
a
course.
Civil War era drama. Who wants to see a freaking War era drama? American Civil War, I should say, in the volatile political climate that we're currently in. Let's not. How about let's not?
Yeah, no. I'm pretty sure I don't
Yeah.
want to watch
No,
that.
I want to watch dragons blow up things. That's all I care about. Dragons and
Yep.
naked
And
people.
then what happened? They made House of the Dragon,
Yes, which
and
wasn't.
apparently was good.
It's not terrible. It's not Game of Thrones level. But I enjoyed it. You know, it
Yeah,
was good. Um, but yeah, chat's kind of popping off there. Pete, you want to read chat right
just a
quick?
little.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we can talk about this one. So, Jonathan put, someone has to pay to keep Colin and
Yes.
Pete's lights on because we can't, clearly.
Thank you, Jonathan.
He also stated, I just got started watching Black Mirror, 4 episodes in, and oh god, if that's the first season,
That is the first season. Yeah.
oh
You're in for
boy,
a ride.
they
That's
are.
good. Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Yeah.
okay, I'm just gonna say this
What?
controversial point.
Uh-oh.
Those, those first 4 episodes are the best of 4 episodes of Black Mirror.
I enjoy Black Mirror, but I also
I,
enjoyed Twilight Zone, so.
uh, well, I liked the Twilight Zone. I'm probably one of the outliers that actually Jordan Peele's Twilight Zone was particularly good. I really liked it.
I did. I really did.
It's not quite the same as the original Twilight Zone, of
No,
course.
nothing beats that. That's like,
No,
that's in a class by itself.
like, okay, I stand a bit. Look, the first 3 seasons of Black Mirror is excellent,
Oh yeah.
and then it starts.
Okay,
Once
well, see,
once it moved to Netflix, I think it went downhill a little bit.
you're not wrong. So I've spoken about this
Wow,
before.
second time about this talking
I
about
know.
TV where I'm not wrong.
I
Ooh,
know.
it's almost like I'm a connoisseur.
A special episode for Pete. No, but like, since when I first got here to Britain land and I first started watching stuff, I was like, oh, stuff is really short over here. It doesn't, there's like 8 episodes in maybe a season or 2 seasons, type of thing. And I used to think, oh, I'm getting gypped or whatever. But honestly, now that I've kind of actually gotten into it, the American style, which is 25, 30 episodes for
Too much.
10 seasons, it's too much. You can't sustain a story like that. And to watch, there's now, and I think Black Mirror is a pretty good example. There's some British shows kind of going that way. They're kind of following the American style just a little bit. It's almost like a hybrid. It's not good.
It's sort of like they've become a hybridization version of like each other's. So it's like
Yeah.
you get run times of like 45 to 50 minutes, but
Right.
they're 8 to 10 episode series, which is
Yes.
what we had with The Last of Us.
I was
So we
gonna
had
say.
9 episodes and it was roughly about an hour to an hour and a half per
Mm-hmm.
episode.
Which I think it was perfect if they would have just, again, saying Pete's right. I can't believe I'm saying that. Uh,
Hey, three
as
times.
as much as I loved episode 7, and I did, to be fair, I would have sacrificed that if we could have paced it better towards the end. But that's just it.
Mm,
Oh no, that's
brilliant.
never a hashtag.
I might have to
Never.
read that comment, you know.
Oh
Uh,
gosh, no.
Anyway, so yeah, Nano put, oh no, that series is going to go downhill fast.
Mhm.
Um, and he also put, I'm surprised they haven't done that yet. So I guess that's making a Yennefer show.
Oh yeah.
Well,
They
let's be
should've.
honest. The showrunners for The Witcher tried to make their own thing. I can't remember what it was called.
I don't have any idea, but they
Oh,
should
that Witcher
never.
or that Witcher prequel series,
Oh, the little, which looked good, but they're not.
and it was
They need
sucky.
to. They need to stay away from television.
Yeah. They do. Um,
Ah.
Jonathan put Game of Thrones seasons 1 to 6 were great.
Yes. Pete has to just
From
agree 'cause he doesn't
everything
know.
I saw on Twitter, yes, they were pretty great.
Yeah.
Thanks Twitter for spoiling every single
Oh
part
my
of Game of
gosh.
Thrones that I can never ever watch it. Cheers. Nana put attack the name Game of Thrones to anything and it will attach.
Attached,
I would
yeah.
imagine it's yeah. And it will sell. That's pretty true.
I live
Says I've
in...
only watched Archangel from that show.
Right. Game of Thrones, though. He's talking about Black Mirror. Game of
Oh,
Thrones.
okay.
I live in Northern Ireland where they shot Game of Thrones, where people I know actually just like hung out with the stars. Where I have like autograph. Well, this is not a humble brag, by the way. It's an arrogant brag. No, I'm kidding. But I like have, Jamie Lannister's signature and stuff.
Yeah,
She's
nice.
so good.
Very good.
But that's not my point. My point being that attach Game of Thrones to anything and it's like big time. Like, that was such a big part of our tourist destination here. When they effed up the last season of Game of Thrones, it's almost like Game of Thrones was never filmed here and doesn't exist. There's like one little tiny museum. But before that, everything was Game of Thrones hype. Oh, I loved it so much.
Anyway, so Jonathan put, I'm mad that Brandon Stark wasn't defined as Brandon the Builder and other Brandon Starks of Winterfell and a time-traveling wizard, green seer of the past, present, and future.
They set him up to be, and then they just pooped the bed.
He also put, I'm stoked for Ahsoka coming out next week.
I know, Pete. I know you said no more Star Wars for yourself. But I think Ahsoka's going to be good. Well, moving on. I hope it is.
Never watched the Clone Wars, never watched Rebels, got no affiliation for the Ahsoka character whatsoever, so not going to be watching it myself. Also, you know full well that...
I know you're out of Star Wars. Almost
and
said
now
Star
another...
Trek.
Look, okay, there's been 2 hashtags now. Hashtag Pete is always right, and hashtag Pete is a Debbie Downer.
I mean, those both are true.
Hashtag realist,
Wait, no.
knowing that...
Pete is not always right. That's not true. That is not a truth. We do not share that on the show.
No, we don't, actually. I'm not always right. But 60% of the time, I'm right every time.
Yeah. 60% of the time, it works 100% of the time.
Yes, it is. And he put, Pete is never right, I take it back. Well, yeah. I knew that was coming as soon as...
That's what she said. Oh.
And he also put 32% of all stats are made up on the spot.
I know, I love that.
Yes.
But yes.
Yeah, I have no affiliation to Disney Star Wars. Disney Star Wars sucks. End of. Moving on.
There's moments that are good. But
Sorry, you ruined that when you decided to turn around and say, "My name is Ray Skywalker." No, it bloody isn't. It's Ray Palpatine. You cannot co-opt a name like that. Shut up.
they just I know it's a video game podcast, but let's just say that third episode, I guess, of the new Star Wars, I guess, really crapped the bed. They just did. They
I'm
messed
sorry.
up.
No, episode 8 already did that when it was like, "Oh, look, here's your here, look,
See, I
look,
can't remember
Luke,
that.
Luke, here's your
Yeah.
lightsaber. Oh, oh, lovely. Bye. Fuck
Yeah.
off."
Yeah. Why'd they do that? Luke. Mark Hamill was even just like,
He was annoyed at it.
he was very annoyed. Anyway. Anyway,
Yeah,
this is
I
not a
better not
Star Wars
before I start
podcast.
alienating everyone else.
No, I think well, I don't want to speak for everyone, but yeah.
Let's be honest.
Unfollow.
You let's be honest. You'll tune in for my very strong opinions.
Yes, Pete's very strongly expressed opinions.
Yeah, I will never back down. I think Disney Star Wars is an absolute shell of what it used to be. And that's not even saying that George Lucas already screwed up his own franchise by doing episodes 1, 2, and 3. So, yay!
There are bits that are good. I will say this, and I am a strong believer in this. The book version of episode 3,
Pretty good.
Revenge of the Sith, so good. The lady that wrote it, like, oh, it's
Pretty
so
good.
When you can see it from inside the minds of, well, let's say Anakin, it changes the entire thing. Like, it's very well written.
I agree.
They should have let her write them.
Yeah, but half the problem I have with Disney since they got involved with the Star Wars franchise is they went, look at all this extended universe you've got here. Bye. We're getting rid of that. And what have they been doing ever since? They've been co-opting little bits from the extended universe and calling it their own.
They have to, because there's like there's like decades of lore there. I remember
there's a massive amount, but that was the thing. Yeah, Karen.
I just was saying that I remember being in high school and reading the books, and actually one of our assignments in English class was to sit and listen to a audiobook version of, I don't remember, but it's the one where Leia is pregnant with Han Solo's twins.
Ooh, yeah, I do have scenes.
Yeah, so like that was like an assignment in class. It was so cool. I had the coolest teacher ever. But anyway, and then now Disney's just like, no, that's not a thing. But then they start adding elements back in, and it's like.
But it's really interesting if you actually listen to it that George Lucas wasn't like, oh, I'm going to give the license to anybody who wants to write a story. It was like if it made sense within the canon of the universe, and he left Star Wars to sort of not die, but just ruminate because he felt that having time away from it was better when it did come back. And you had all this external stuff elsewhere that kept people interested in the universe. Which is why people kept writing books or comics and making games to fill in little bits of the universe that hadn't been there.
It was so cool. Like, I remember when, again, this is saying how old I am. But this is like either early days of the prequels or right before the prequels came out.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely when they were talking about it. But they had like a Star Wars encyclopedia that came out. And it had.
I remember that.
Yeah, it was so extensive. And that's when I learned that Yoda was like an actual race of an alien. Like, I'd never thought of that before, you know? And
I don't think anyone really does until you actually go back and read some of the EU stuff.
And there were some like ship blueprints, like the Millennium Falcon. The blueprints of it was in there, and all that kind of, like, I'm a nerd for that kind of stuff. And so, like, it's an extensive universe, and then they've just kind of done away with it. But you want to do chat?
Well, that's basically it. Apart from Nana put, I was unaware Ahsoka was in Rebels. Yes, that is. I only know through osmosis. So, middle-aged gamer guy, or Mags, just put, I couldn't get on with Andor, but then again, I did like Boba Fett, or Mando Season 3, as people call it. So that says a lot about me. Yes, it does, but I do not judge. If you like what you like, and I'm not one to judge. I personally have just decided to distance myself away from Disney Star Wars, which is fair. And Jonathan put, how far into Andor did you get into? I think this is meant for Mags, obviously. So
But I want to talk about
yeah.
Andor for 2 seconds.
You can, but I do have something I do want to raise. I do
Oh.
want to ask a quick question about Star Wars.
Oh, okay.
How is it that someone who has never been on a ship, who has lived their entire life on a desert planet,
Gosh.
knows how to bypass compressors?
Yeah. Okay. Pete. Again, you're not wrong. They handled it badly.
Rey Skywalker is a Mary Sue.
Is a
End
Mary
of.
Sue. And I hate that because obviously I want to see more females in sci-fi and fantasy.
Yeah, so would I. I would love to see it if they're written right and
But
they're actually a character.
Rey was not written well. Rey was a Mary Sue. Let's be honest. It's nothing against the actress, of course, obviously.
No, but it's also a worrying state of affairs that your main lead has never acted in a single movie or TV show at that point.
I think it's kind of cool, but
I mean, then again, Mark Hamill hadn't done either.
he'd done like commercials or something. But
Such a minor stuff before that.
yeah.
So it can work. I'm not saying it is a totally disparaging point, but ever since then, her career has sort of bottomed out, unfortunately, which is kind of a shame. Because I didn't think she was that bad in Murder on the Orient Express. Daisy Ridley.
Yeah, no, but I like Murder on the Orient Express anyway.
That's because I like Kenneth Branagh.
Oh gosh, I love him. He's so good, so good. But
This week's movie chat brought to you by HBO.
This is bad, guys. But this is what happens when we record an episode on Wednesday that was full of gaming discussion.
It was
very vibrant.
I have got 2 more stories, by the way, that we can go through.
Do you? Okay.
I do, yeah.
Let's do that.
Well, you carry on. I want to hear what Eve was going to say about Andor.
I was just gonna say that Andor is one of those. It's not your typical Star Wars fare. It is a very political, subliminal subtext. It's full of subtext, so it's not your usual kind of action-oriented fun. It's not fun.
I know it's a bit more of a slow build series as well.
It's a very slow build, whereas let's say something like Mandalorian or, as Max mentioned, Boba Fett, that's your fun. I know that's a weird term. I know that's a weird term to say, but you know what I mean. Like there's action and it's moving forward and it's.
Yeah, I do know what you mean. It's just to call it fun.
I know. Yeah. But oh sweet. I do have to say, oh, Pete, we forgot. You probably remembered, and I just forgot. We gotta read Mike's comment at the end of the show.
You're correct. Okay. You are correct. We'll cover it at the end of the show.
Yeah, because I just saw Jonathan say, I jumped back into Red Dead Redemption 2 and finally
yes,
the game.
Yeah, that's what reminded me of that too.
Yeah, you have to make it through that first hour.
I had the comment. I actually had the comment open as well.
Yeah,
I've closed it now for some reason.
Politimo. I am drinking an entire bottle of
Trampoline.
Trampoline. Saxophone. Saxophone.
Anyway.
We make a lot of Simpsons references here.
Yes, we do. Right. Do you want to pick story 1 or story 2?
2.
Cool. Microsoft has announced that it will be closing down the Xbox 360 store next year.
I mean,
boo!
But is that a surprise? They shut down so many servers or whatever.
They did, yeah. But anyway, let's read the story and we can discuss in a bit more detail. So, in a new post on the official Xbox Wire blog, it was announced that the ability to buy new games, DLC, and other entertainment content from the Xbox 360 store will end on July 29th, 2024.
That's actually...
So you've got a fair while.
I was going to say, that's a lot further out than I would have given
This specifically refers to the ability to buy content directly through the Xbox 360 console and the ability to buy content from the Xbox 360 marketplace. It does not affect the ability to buy backwards compatible Xbox 360 games and DLC on the Xbox One or Series X and S stores, which will continue to be available.
Good. That's all I care
Yes.
about.
Yep. Microsoft stresses that while the Xbox 360 store will close down on July 29th, players using their Xbox 360 consoles after this date will still be able to use all their previously purchased 360 games and DLC. It also notes that if players have deleted a game that they have purchased, they will still be able to re-download it.
That's cool.
Good.
That's cool.
Yes.
Good guy,
Players will still
Microsoft.
be able to play these games online as long as their online servers are still supported by the publisher and can still save their game progress to the cloud.
Good.
So Microsoft
See?
points out that the Microsoft Movies and TV app will no longer work on the 360 on the same date, meaning movies and TV shows purchased through the service will no longer be viewable on Xbox 360 consoles after the 29th of July. These movies and TV shows will still be part of the user's library, however, and can be viewed on the Movies and TV app on PC, Xbox One, and Series X and S.
What more can you ask for? That's
Sorry,
amazing.
what? You cut out.
I said, what more can you ask for? That is amazing.
I
really
mean,
cool.
it's obvious. It does obviously cost a lot of money to be able to keep servers running.
It does. Mm-hmm.
And let's be honest, Microsoft have probably got an absolute ton of servers open, so shutting down a few more might mean a few more are available to be able to help with cloud gaming.
Exactly.
Potentially.
Exactly. I think it's a
But
great move.
But let's be honest, when was the last time that the Xbox 360 was really properly supported?
Well, that's the thing. They removed their support, was it last year? I think.
I think they did, yeah, but like obviously they moved on with the Xbox One in 2013.
Yeah. Really? Was it 2013?
2013 the Xbox One came out.
Oh my gosh. I'm
Yeah,
so
and then
old. Oh my
same
gosh.
age.
Well, you're a little older than me.
Similar age.
Oh my gosh, though, that's crazy. Yeah. But I'm gonna be honest. I think that this is I think it's good guy Microsoft. I really do. I mean, I know I'm a fangirl, and yeah, I'm always gonna be like, woo! Phil Spencer's the greatest.
Yes, you will.
But even having said that, I think this is a really good move because they don't have to do this. You know?
No, they don't have to, and it's to be honest, we talk about game preservation. And
Exactly.
this is a good way of being able to preserve your games on your 360 for that little bit longer. But
Exactly.
that also doesn't necessarily mean that you can't download those games for the current series of consoles.
Yeah.
Because you
Well,
can.
Jonathan says, will they be on the Xbox Series Z? Is that the thing that I have, Pete?
Series S you
Oh,
have.
Series S.
No,
Well,
I think this is
only
potentially
disc.
like a no, I think this is him trying to say is there going to be another console coming potentially.
I know there.
Yeah, he says,
cool.
no, that is a thing I just made up.
Oh, I'm not
Oh
very
my God.
smart, Jonathan.
Yeah. Yeah, it
I'm
was
easy to
28. Just
fool.
Dance 2018 was the last official release on the 360. 2018, yeah.
Wow.
Hmm.
God, I know we talked about
Well,
it before.
bearing in mind that, like, after the PS2 was stopped being developed for technically,
Yes.
when Sony obviously moved over in 2006, 2007, FIFA was still coming out until 2014 on the PS2.
That's what's so crazy.
I know.
Jonathan
Madness.
says, sorry, should I type slower? Yes, Jonathan, some of us need a little bit of extra time.
Yes, you do.
And don't
Anyway.
use big words. Make sure. But anyway.
Okay, I'm going to cover this quick story that I've just found, just because I found it interesting. So, there is a peripheral manufacturer, and God, if I can pronounce that word correctly.
That was
Peripheral.
great. That's wonderful, Pete.
No, it was terrible. I felt like I was
drunk. Did you drink wine?
No.
Are you drinking wine? Pete doesn't drink for our audience. Anyway.
Well, yes, I am. Yes, I'm going full old school and drinking it out of a tin.
There you go. Oh my goodness.
Pepsi Max laced with vodka.
I love Pepsi Max. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, me too.
That's all I drink.
Anyway, the peripheral maker responsible for bringing back the Xbox Duke controller, is now doing the same with the 360 controller.
I mean, okay. All right, read what you gotta read, and let's talk about this.
I don't know if I can read anything more of this. There's not
Okay.
really much else to say. Hyperkin is working on the Exonon, or I don't know, an officially licensed replica of the controller that originally included with the 360 when it launched in 2005. Doesn't have a price or release date. Will be compatible with the Series X, the Series S, the Xbox One, and PC. It will also be available in 4 colors: white, black, red,
Of course,
and
blue.
pink.
Oh, pink. I'm so glad they're starting to add pink.
I'm buying a red one then.
I bought a pink one.
No, really?
I love pink. I don't care. I don't care what anybody
Okay,
says.
all right. I can see you holding the controller. Tell me
So,
more.
This is the thing. So this is
Series
the
X controller.
Series X controller, which isn't that much different than the 360 controller. And you know why.
Well, you mean the Xbox One controller?
Well, it's definitely not different from the Xbox One.
Definitely
But
not.
it's not that much different from the 360 either, if we're honest. I mean, it's a little, you know.
Yeah, I'm glad you extenuate the D-pad.
You like this?
Because the D-pad is bloody terrible on the 360 controller.
Yes.
It was the only letdown of that entire controller.
Yeah. See, like, I can play with buttons on screen.
Yes, I'm fully aware.
But anyway, my point being that the reason why they've stuck with this design, basically, like I said, this has changed, but basically is because it is a near perfect controller. Yes, audience, you can disagree with us. Chat, you may voice your opinions. But to me, this is, now I do have big hands, as you can see. But this is to me the absolute closest to perfection that there is, and that's why they've kept it that way. So coming out with a peripheral that's like a 360, I'm on board. I'm absolutely on board with that.
Okay, I'm gonna go out on a limb here.
Triggers are different too.
I'm really gonna go out on a limb on this one.
Okay.
The Xbox 360 controller is the greatest controller of all time.
I'm up there with you, Pete. Like I said, I mean, the D-pad's not great.
No, that's the only letdown of it as a whole. It is just a wonderfully comfortable controller to use. It was versatile. Like, it was a controller that you knew full well that if you were playing PC games, you were like, well, it just plugs into the PC. Great, perfect. Yeah. Even with a charge and play kit, it was fantastic. You know, they really thought exactly. Whereas in most previous generations, you had to go and buy an additional controller just for PC support.
Yes, you did.
Which sucked ass, by the way. So having Xbox just going, yeah, this works on PC as well. Look at what their controllers do now. Oh, they all work on PC. DualSense works perfectly fine on PC as well. It's like they were the outliers of this one, and obviously because they had an ecosystem, you know.
Well, I want to talk about that for 2 seconds. So, as everyone knows, because I mentioned it 1,000 million times, I have really gotten into Luna, which is Amazon Fire Stick, but Amazon's
Amazon's game streaming
platform thing. So my DualSense is not down here because I took it upstairs to try and connect it. The DualSense won't connect because they stopped supporting it on Luna. Which I think it's so to make you buy their Luna controller.
I think it probably is, yeah.
And a Luna controller is like $59.99. No, thank you. So I try to connect the X-Bone. No, whatever I have.
Series S.
Series S. Pete has to tell me all the time because I don't remember. But
naming conventions for Xbox consoles suck. They're terrible.
Especially if you're autistic. I'm just like SX. Her name is Sony. It's my.
Give me my Sony.
But try to connect it. It doesn't connect. I had to buy like a third-party little wireless that cost me 15 quid. The latency's pretty bad, but you can still at least play some on the Luna. Disappointingly, it's not great. But having said all of that, that is my one thing against all of the Xbox controllers is Of course, they're compatible with PC because obviously Microsoft. But outside of that, they're not compatible with much else. Like I haven't been able to get it to connect to like my like on my iPad. You know, you can play Game Pass.
Yes.
I would love to play Microsoft with controller because if you see my screenshots from, did I say Microsoft? I meant
You
Minecraft.
meant Minecraft.
Yeah, sorry, a little bit of wine there. But if you see any of my screenshots from Minecraft, it's the dadgum on-screen controls, and they're not
Mm.
great. It's the iPad controls. I would love to play it with, like an Xbox controller. Can't do it. So that is my one negative against the Xbox controller. Outside of that, though, just like Pete said, the design, the placement, everything, it's just so intuitive and it's so natural. And it's good for big hands because the DualSense is not great for big hands.
Yeah, I mean, I've never had a problem connecting the Xbox controller to anything else. I managed to connect it onto my phone to play game
See,
streaming
why can't
perfectly
I
fine.
then?
Um,
But you have an
make sure
Android, so
I do.
yeah.
That might be why.
I have an iPhone.
Yeah,
Apple.
that's why. I think that might be why.
Apple is superior.
Clearly not. Clearly not.
But yeah,
Anyway.
that's interesting. Jonathan says, although I really like the Wavebird wireless controller, which I still have 3 of them. I'll have to look into that. Let's know about that.
That would be the wireless controller for the GameCube.
And then
I
Jonathan,
wasn't the biggest fan of them. I felt that the frequency on them were a bit spotty, but I, I just didn't gel with them because I didn't like the extra little bit on the bottom of the GameCube controller
that's what
where it
she
was the
said.
no, where so they had a little extra bit on the bottom of the GameCube controller where it was meant for your programming
Yes,
frequencies.
I know. I
So,
hated that.
and I didn't particularly like it. It's just kind of ruined the shape of the GameCube controller for me.
Yeah. Um.
Oh,
But
that's interesting.
what's that?
He says, on a side note of my life, I am now an esports coordinator at the local college. Super
Okay.
part-time, but hoping to form a full-blown department of the athletics department. Good.
Yes,
That's
you
very good. Glad to hear it.
should put you in contact with James Frazier.
You should. Yeah, we'll get in contact with him
Yeah, that
about
would be good.
that. Anyway, we have one more news story. That was just
Yes.
an extra one I threw in for fun. So let's get to this one because I
Okay.
felt this one hasn't gotten a lot of traction actually, surprisingly,
Okay.
which is very very strange considering that certain Rockstar games have been in the news a lot more recently than they should be
Can't imagine why.
because the developer of a Grand Theft Auto 5 mod that gave NPCs the ability to talk to players using AI says it's been removed by Rockstar's parent
Oh
company,
dear.
Take-Two.
Oh dear. Oh, I have so much. Go ahead, Pete. Finish this out.
Sentient Streets was a new story-based download for the game created by Block, a veteran modder who's previously released something similar for Mount and Blade 2 Bannerlord. According to Block's description for the mod, the NPC in Sentient Streets are powered by 30 plus AI models that let players have open-ended conversations in real time with eccentric cult members, cunning police officers, and unsuspecting civilians. The mod was accompanied by a YouTube video showing how it worked. It shows the player controlling a police officer standing in a street with 3 other officers. By approaching each police officer and pressing the T key, to get their attention, players can then hold the N key and speak into their microphone and ask them a question. That's really cool.
I want to talk about this.
You want this?
No, we're gonna talk about it when you're done.
Okay. I didn't hear what you said because it slightly cut out on one part of it.
Oh, I said we're gonna talk about this when you're done.
Oh, okay, alright. So, the officers then use AI to interpret the question, generate an answer, and reply to the player. Each officer has been given a different personality. One is friendly, one is tough, and one is flirty. However, in a new message posted on the YouTube channel, Block says Take-Two has taken the mod down from the Nexus Mods website and has also had the YouTube video removed. Block then chose to remove the mod from GTA 5 Mods website to avoid any more issues. Howdy, Mike. Welcome. However, so yesterday, I quote, Take-Two Interactive hit my channel with a copyright strike about my video on GTA 5 mod, and YouTube removed the video immediately without giving any chance to explain myself, they claimed. The reason for this takedown shown by Take-Two Interactive to YouTube was because I used their software, GTA 5, in the video. No one from Take-Two Interactive contacted and asked me anything prior to this. They just took down the video out of nowhere. 2 days ago, my account on Netlify was also suspended. I used Netlify to host the installation guide for the mod. So, yeah. It says, a quote, I contacted the claimant email shown on YouTube, which was a Take-Two email address, hoping there might be some small misunderstanding, or they could explain the reasoning behind it. Perhaps this occurred automatically, but the evidence suggests a deliberate manual DMCA takedown request from them. I also didn't get any response back. It looks like they're just attacking the mods from all fronts.
Okay.
There's more quotes to be had down the article as well, but we'll get to that in a moment.
There is a lot I wish to say. But welcome, Mike. It's good to see you. Very good. But
And Jonathan put, choose his flirty option.
always.
Damn straight.
First and foremost, before I even get into the AI aspect, I do hate, like, mods are so important to certain games. I've said this a million times. Like, I love mods.
Yes.
And in fact, when Starfield comes out, which I'm dying to play, I'm so hyped for that game.
You can preload on PC now.
Okay.
And Xbox.
I'm going to preload. But
I think you can anyway. Or it might be the 23rd or the 24th. I think it might even be available now.
Yeah, I'm sure it's coming up. But even then, the mods are going to be amazing for it. I'm looking so forward to it.
I hope so.
And I don't think that mod creators get enough credit. And sure enough, a lot of developers, Bethesda being one, do try to take advantage of mods. Rockstar's never really been that big of one, so that's very disappointing to hear.
Okay, sorry. Update. Starfield already available for preload because I can do it on PC. It's Steam that's in a few days. I think it's the 23rd for Steam.
I'm gonna preload that so hard.
I am. Oh God.
Okay.
Oh boy. Oh my God.
What?
It requires 140 gigs of space on PC. My God.
Okay. Well, time to buy a new hard drive.
Looks like Exoprimal's getting deleted.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, that's breaking news, people. How much was it again? 101?
139.25 gigabytes.
140. Okay. Wow.
Yeah, I just said 143s.
But we'll dial it back a little bit.
Yeah.
I actually forgot. Oh, AI. So, two of my content creators that I follow. Yes, get your bingo cards out because here it comes. I Am Krusty and Call Me Kevin both released videos on two separate games where they're using AI people to conversate with. I'm not to say that. But I Am Krusty is doing his VR Skyrim, which he's very well known for. And his companion is an AI character. So he speaks to the AI and she interacts with him. Sometimes it's a creepy level of accuracy, but sometimes it's absolutely absurd. Hence the popularity of the videos. I do encourage you to go watch them. And then, so that is very successful and it's kind of cool, actually, the way it's done. But then Call Me Kevin played one. It's a game on Steam. I've actually forgotten the name of it. It's a detective game. The idea behind it is very, very good. But it's a procedurally generated, which we know I do not care for, game that you speak into the mic and that you try to figure out what's going on. You're the detective and you're trying to figure out who murdered who, blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
All this kind of stuff. Number one, it can't understand his very Irish accent at times. Well, I say very Irish. He's not heavily Irish, his accent.
That's still quite funny though.
But it is funny, and and it makes for a good comedy for sure. Um,
Yeah.
and then the actual quote voice acting, I'll call it, of the AI. It's obviously it's not voice acting; it's a computer. It's
Yeah.
so bad that it really takes you out of the game. So my point being, here's two games. One, this game, the Call Me Kevin Den, is 100% based on AI generated
Beast.
beast. Generate AI. This is fun. AI generated speech and actions, and then of course, I am Krusty. I almost said I am Kevin. I am Krusty. His is a companion, but it's a mod, and I'd actually say that the mod is better, done more, done
Mm.
programs better than, let's say, the game. But that's a personal opinion. That's and it's
Yeah.
not my point. My point being to know that those two games exist. What I just said, and Rockstar Take Two is getting this guy to take his mod down. They're about to release their own, is what I think.
Yeah.
I really do, or some kind of proprietary thing. Um, but Pete and audience, please feel free to join in, please. What do you think about AI coming into our games? Do you think this is a good direction? I think you can tell how
Hmm.
I feel.
See now, I have a few issues with AI
Mm-hmm.
generally to some
Okay.
degree, but I don't have quite the same aspersions to AI like most do. Now, let's be honest here, I'm not an artist, I'm not a game developer, I'm not anything that's as such, but from everything I've heard some artists talking about, and a lot of them are very much against AI with anything.
Mm-hmm.
There are we do have to remember that we're in the very early stages of AI assistance, let's say.
I was gonna say because AI's definitely been around a while. It's weird to
Yes.
see people kind of
To
go
this
crazy for it
yeah.
because it's been around a
But
while.
it is there aren't I'm not completely 100% against it
Mm-hmm.
because I think it's a useful tool for
Mm-hmm.
people who may not have the artistic know-how to to do things that some artists do, but yet it can help you set a benchmark for things it can be done. And it should be used not solely, but can be used in in aid of creation.
Right. So like a
It
tool, as you
should never
said.
be it should never be used solely to be done. So you
Right.
should never use AI to write scripts, fully complete projects, but it can be a useful tool to help with the development process. So having a mod like this on GTA 5, which creates new lines of dialogue,
Yes.
I don't see that as a bad thing. And it just shows the sort of levels that it can be done. But if you've watched Secret Invasion, you know exactly what AI can do, and it is terrible.
Well,
It's not quite at the it's not quite at the level yet where it is very good. So it still requires an artist's hand to finish the job. Once it gets beyond that point, yeah, that's a worrying state of affairs. That's when we shouldn't rely on it. We should not completely rely on it to be creating everything that we see as good and proper.
well, what I will.
You can never take away an
Mhm.
artist's artistic vision.
I'm gonna agree with you there. Before we go to chat, I will say this, and then Pete will pick up on chat. But
And that's exactly what Mike said. He said it should be used to assist and complement an artist's vision
yeah, like as I said, a tool, and this is
and
kind
not
of
replace it.
this was kind of my point in showing these two content creators that I follow. I am Krusty using a mod on Skyrim VR, which was hilarious and funny and kind of worked.
Hmm.
Call Me Kevin playing a game that was solely written by, well, no, I'm not gonna say written. That's not. I'm incorrect. Solely using AI, you know,
Hmm.
to interact with. And although Call Me Kevin's great, the game itself, I it's just we're not. It's not there. It was boring. I would never pay for a game like that. It was not cool. I mean, it made great content for Kevin, but the game itself, there was nothing. It's not there yet.
Yeah.
So I have to agree that it's more of an artist tool. But Pete, if you want to go over chat because it is quite full.
Yep. Let's go through. So,
Scrolling
anyway, what was I going to say? So, Nana put, and I completely understand where you're coming from. He says it feels like a bad thing, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is Nana is an artist, so I sort of understand where he's coming from.
Mm-hmm.
So, Jonathan put, AI will make solo/indie developers work easier, but I think it is a fine line for those larger teams.
Right.
AI definitely takes the humanity and human touch of storytelling and storytelling and emotions. Yeah, AI cannot truly replicate human emotion. It cannot truly replicate like patterns of behavior that are very much outside their remit of understanding. But the problem is the more that we program into things like ChatGPT, it will get that way. So once it goes full sort of, once it goes, oh god, why can't I ever remember that from Terminator 2?
Oh gosh, that's like my fears, man.
Yeah, but I can't remember the names. That's the one. Once it goes full Skynet, that's where
terrifying.
I have an issue.
But see,
yeah, it is.
If you're of a certain age, if you're a person of a certain age, you probably remember Furbies. And I had a Furby, and it was learning. That was the whole kind of thing, is that it would learn. And I got so scared of it, I put it in my closet and took the batteries out because it learns things, and AI is terrifying. Although, as Mag says, depends on the game, to be honest, which is exactly what I mean. Like, it worked as a mod in VR Skyrim, which I think it would work in GTA 5 as a mod. Like, that's cool. It's a supplemental. Kind of like Pete was saying. It's a tool.
And that's what I think it would be good for, is things like Elder Scrolls, Fallout, GTA, NPC dialogue, it would be great things for, where it takes far too many hours for someone to sit down and write all of that. But having an AI generate all of that, and then a human go through and have a look at it and go, this sounds believable, let's keep that. I don't see what the issue with that is. But I think that we're now getting to a point as a culture where we are so very easy to completely browbeat something down as being wrong. Despite the fact that, but we can't have an interesting, open point of dialogue like we're having now, where you might completely disagree, with me, but we're able to have our opinions, have a good discussion about it.
Normally I do. I do like where Jonathan calls you a tool, though. That's my favorite part.
He says that I am a useful tool.
That's my favorite part of tonight.
In what way am I a useful tool? Would you call me a hoe? Would you call...
Yes, Pete. Pete is a hoe. There you go. Clip it, save it, print it on a lunchbox.
Anyway.
Do they carry lunchboxes anymore?
I don't know. Anyway, Mike Tendo put it should be used to assist and complement an artist's vision and not replace it.
Exactly.
Jonathan put the AI in the opening of Secret Invasion was the irony of the scrolls holding Among Us, which, is a side note, that show was a disappointment. Disappointment is a word I wouldn't use for that. If you want to know my full thoughts on it, the Neverwatchers released the Secret Invasion episode recently, and oh boy, I had a lot to say about it. Anyway, Mike Tendo put, Disney needs to stop milking the Marvel cow dry. It's become more about quantity over quality, and they need to reassess their priorities. Mike Tendo put, Karen.
Well, I'm just like, as a person who has loved Marvel since I said Marvel because I had a lot of wine. Marvel since I was like Marvel. Since I was like 12, and I discovered the VHS copies of X-Men cartoon.
Yep.
And I dreamed of the day I wanted like Arnold Schwarzenegger to be Colossus so bad, and like.
Not anymore.
Angela Bassett to be Storm. Like, I had it all in my head, all planned out.
Oh, man, that would have been a good choice back in the 90s.
Right? Much better than Halle Berry in a terrible blonde wig. Terrible. blonde wig.
I don't think Halle Berry's that bad as Storm, but
She
the
isn't
wig is
bad, but the
quite
wig
bad.
was bad. The wig was
The
bad.
the wig was bad. The wig was
Um,
bad. Anyway, I'll
so
go through the rest of these comments in a minute.
yeah, but I never thought that I would ever get to the point where I'm actually agreeing with Mike here that they've milked it dry. They've just oversaturated the market with Marvel stuff. Keep Deadpool coming
Yes.
though.
Before this stream,
Mhm.
when I was when I wasn't out busy doing things,
Uh-huh.
over the course of yesterday and this morning, I have been watching something on YouTube to do with Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania.
Oh, right.
A 5 hour, 54-minute breakdown of why that film is an
Oh,
absolute travesty.
I mean it is, but 5 hours? Holy crap.
No, it's so unbelievably in depth, and it makes sense why it's that long, because they discuss the
Let's watch
entirety of the plot and then go over everything that was wrong with characterization, plot, CGI, everything.
I'm not
It
sure.
is a full comprehensive breakdown, and yes, I've had to watch it in 3 or 4
I
parts.
was gonna say I don't have the attention whatever.
Well, bearing in mind that this guy also did a breakdown of Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness
Well, there you
that was about 5 hours
go.
as
Oof.
well, and I watched the whole thing, and I've watched it 3 times as well.
Oh my gosh, Pete.
I'm a glutton for punishment, all right?
Apparently.
Yeah. Anyway, I'll read
But
the rest of
yes.
these comments. So,
Yes.
Mike Tanner put, when AI goes full Skynet, we're all going to have problems. Yes.
Yup.
Anyway, Jonathan put, they have stated recently, Mike, that they are revisiting a slow down approach.
Yeah, I
I am
saw that.
hoping that is true.
Me too.
So do I.
Yeah.
Mike Tanner, they're sort of having a conversation. Um, what the heck is that? When you aren't feeling right, you are a sick. Oh, okay. Anyway, Mike Tendo put Snowflake Paradise is out in force
Parade.
that would sooner cancel things they don't like rather than accept
Oh,
that some people have contrary opinions to their own.
look. They ain't nobody here of everyone sitting here
Reach.
watching this episode and these two people right here talking to you. And I've got my Texas accent on, so you know I'm being real right now. That
Oh, okay, yep, cool. I get the point now.
has
Carry on.
the same opinion about anything and everything. We do not. Having different
No, we do not.
opinions makes us cool. It makes us have
Uh,
discussions or just whatever, you know.
Trust me. It might appear this way that we look like we agree on everything. No, we
Oh
do
no,
not.
we
We do
don't.
not agree on absolutely
No.
everything.
Like, okay, here's a great example. I will say this and then we'll move on. Pete
Yeah.
and I could not be more different. Like, our politics are different, although there's a lot of overlap that's similar.
There's a
But,
bit of overlap.
like, our politics are different, our just world views are different because we have different, we're coming from different places. Our opinions on entertainment is different. I'm more arty farty anyway, and also I love Deadpool, and Pete's wrong and hates Deadpool.
Well, this is where Kylie is completely wrong, and you need to realise that a character staring at the screen going, look, this is funny, is not actually that funny.
I love fourth wall breaks with Deadpool.
Look, I've got nothing wrong with fourth wall breaks when they're done right. I mean, look at the Austin Powers series; they've done fourth wall breaks, and they do it well.
But the point,
yeah, especially the bit where they're just about to go back in time. Like, that goes for you too. Oh yes. So, why does Austin Powers keep coming up recently?
Austin Powers, Anchorman, and The Simpsons are our three main touchdowns. But I said all of that to say that for any of our younger listener viewers out there, it's normal to have not the same opinions, and it doesn't make me think less of Pete. You know what I mean? Like,
I don't know about that. I think so much less of you when you tell me you like Deadpool.
Well, but I mean, it's just like, okay. Like, I love, my favorite color's purple. Okay, Pete's favorite color is red. It doesn't make us wrong or disagree or anything. You know what I mean? But that's for our younger viewers out there.
That's true, but also the fact that I always find it funny. Rachel was just like, I don't like the color red. I was like, what's your favorite color? She's like, pink. I was like,
it's just, that's red light. dye it red.
Thank you. Thank you.
But yes, go ahead with comments.
Yes, Mike Tendo put the first wave of Marvel films have been great. After Infinity War, Disney squeezed Marvel like an orange with the onslaught of TV shows and films that have not been all their bases. Yes.
Yep.
I
Absolutely
agree.
agreed.
And I can't disagree with you about after Infinity War because great. Anyway.
I know.
Jonathan put sickle because you asked if you were a tool. Hey-ho. That is very good.
That's very good.
And then Mike Teddo put not hit all the bases, and then he's just started, and then he's just put an oh behave, yeah. And he said, well, this escalated quickly, and that's the comments. Well, and Nana's just come in with one last one. It says, I don't know if there's an open discussion to be had with AI though, because it's already messed up.
I know.
So many people's careers though, honestly. But yeah, there is an artist, an author who's over in Australia. I won't say who they are. Very big proponent of AI being a very good assistance tool, and actually did show the kind of levels of which he was dealing with, and I thought it was very, very interesting.
What I'm not a fan of, I'll say that. Well, there's a lot of things I'm not a fan of, but specifically talking about AI and artists. I'm talking about that. Is the AI bros who are so proud because they've put a bunch of an artist's works into the whatever.
Sorry, 1 second. Nana, it was on a live stream, so I'd have to go and find the clip of it and clip it for you and send it to you. It will. But if you're interested in finding out more about it, I will send it over privately to you.
Continue. Yeah. So, like, they get really, really proud because they put all of this artist's works into their little algorithm machine or whatever, and they're like, look what I've produced. It's in the exact same style of, let's say, Jim Lee, my favorite comic book artist, or whatever.
Yeah.
That
I disagree with. Like. Yeah, I can't deal with that because that's not your artistic vision. That's someone else's artistic vision.
Yeah, exactly. But at the same time, I know that, like, when I was in high school, I had a friend. I'm a writer. She wanted to be a writer. She's not good at writing, but she had ideas. Now, normally you would collaborate. I wasn't her biggest fan, so we couldn't collaborate because I just, no. So she was like, oh, I wish I had a machine I could just tell all my ideas to, and then it would write a thing for me. And this was, a million years ago because I'm like 50. I'm not. Last time I said that, people believed me. I'm not, okay? That was just a joke. But I got a bunch of DMs going, oh, are you really 50? I'm like 52. Like, no, I was just kidding. So here we are now, in the future, and she can do that. And that's cool that she can see her artistic vision expressed. But again, it's like Pete said, that's a tool that's helping her, as opposed to stealing someone else's style and then recreating it in your image. I guess.
But you like it's a very grey area. Like you're either going to be like very much for AI or very much against it. And I think that's where I sort of skirt the line. Is I'm neither. I'm sort of like I can see its potential, but I can also see where it could be dangerous.
Right. Well, let's do this. Pete, if you want to finish up chat, and then we'll read Mike's comment from last week. It was really good.
Yes,
and then we'll wrap it up because we are getting a little bit late.
Anyway, so Jonathan's just put, I saw some AI done in a different way the other day in my house down. I don't know what that's supposed to be. AI was being used as a flagging devices during a construction site on a main road. Instead of putting a human flagger, there was a stop sign that would raise or lower in hometown. Sorry, you put a human flagger that was a stop sign that would raise or lower, and was using AI to start or stop and allow cars through. I saw this as a good use of AI in that it kept construction workers out of harm's way, the heat, etc., and allowed for the free people it was replacing at that site.
That is something I've said for a very long time. Using AI in something that is
menial.
I hate to say menial. I hate to say that's not really what I mean, but more analytical, structural non-creative, that's what I really mean. In a
Okay.
non-creative sense, I think AI is like what Jonathan's just described.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's great because puts free people back on a construction site to be able to actually do a job that's more important
And
rather
it's
than standing at the side of the road, you know.
and if I'm being perfectly honest, we try to get political, but I'm gonna get political for 2 seconds here. Just 2 seconds, that's all. Texas recently passed it's not a law, but it's a whatever. I guess it's a law.
Guideline.
Guideline, whatever. Texas House. And they have taken the brakes away for construction workers. So a construction worker used to be allowed a break every hour, get 10 minutes, because we have temperatures in Texas. I mean, I'm not in Texas now, but that are over 100 degrees Fahrenheit or 40 degrees
Yeah,
Celsius.
it's a lot.
And Texas just said, nah, you don't need breaks. That's for lazy people because we're real about cruelty. We love cruelty in Texas. So, like something like this, I think is actually very, very good because it's probably saving lives in the long run, if we're
Yeah,
honest.
probably.
Yeah.
Anyway,
But,
that's most of the comments. I'll get back to those in a bit anyway,
yeah.
but I wanted to highlight this because, well, some people were very kind as to leave us some very interesting feedback as regards to our discussion earlier on in the week about Red Dead Redemption. So, Mike Tendo 64, and we did say that we would read this at the top of the show. We didn't because we forgot and we're bums, but you know.
Well, I thought we were saving it on purpose till the end, but that's just me.
Yeah. So, he put, this is on YouTube, you can find this comment right there and there. So, where do I start? Great episode as always, and for about 90%, I'm right there with you.
Yeah.
Saying that, I want to focus on my counterpoints for this comment. In the case of the managing editor of Polygon, just like anyone, she has a right to her opinion, as does everyone else, and her opinion is just as valid as a non-gamer. Yep, can't disagree.
Yep.
However, the whole article itself was just weird, dark, and if it was meant to be about Baldur's Gate 3, she she should have actually played the damn game rather than backseat drive on her partner.
Yes.
I mean, that could be misconstrued in a bad way as well.
Oh,
I'm not saying
gosh.
anything more than
Oh,
that. Her
gosh,
partner
please.
playing it, or maybe her partner should have just wrote the article. Maybe AI could have helped with that.
Oh, gosh.
I'm joking. No, I'm not getting into
Now,
that.
now you're getting into my territory. Writers and AI. Wait, no, I'm kidding.
Right. Profanities have no place in an article for a professional
As we spoke
publication.
about that, yeah.
You can get away with it on a talk radio show, in a podcast, or in a television interview because it is the spur of the moment thing, and how it can be said, how it is said, can be expressed very differently one way or the other. In written media, though, there is more freedom to express yourself in a more fanciful and colourful words of expression that isn't just a simple f-bomb or calling something effing shite.
Right.
Because they didn't like it. As for Baldur's Gate itself, I will admit that the first time I'd heard of the game was when it got a release on Nintendo Switch a few years ago. I'm not a big RPG fan as there are far too much gatekeeping on what constitutes as an RPG and what doesn't. I like to think that I do enjoy a good number of RPGs, but then someone else will criticize me and say such and such game is not a real RPG.
He's not
And
wrong.
no, this is the problem, I think, where there are games nowadays that have RPG-like mechanics, but they're not fully fledged RPGs.
Well,
You know, and it's sort of like the open world game was a thing that came in from
you literally took the words out of my mouth.
MMORPGs
Oh
to
my
then become a
gosh.
staple of just general AAA video games.
That's creepy when you do that. That's literally what I was about to say.
I know.
That's so
I read
creepy.
your man.
Go ahead.
Anyway, that said, the other article that the guy wrote about the best RPGs, I didn't find it suspicious that he didn't know what Baldur's Gate was. What was suspicious was how his research took him to God of War, in which Baldur is a character as opposed to the actual game series itself. Right. Whilst it was a strange anecdote in itself, the fact that he surmised is that it must have been this reference that his boss was getting at, I find bewildering when there must have been literal pages on Google saying otherwise. Good journalism comes from good research and knowledge of the topic at hand, and some personal experience is a
Yeah.
plus. Like with every other job, it does help immensely to be passionate about what you do and
Yes.
enjoy it. And there are plenty of people there that do jobs because they have to pay bills, and I can
Yeah.
understand. Just as much as people using gaming journalism as a stepping stone towards more coveted positions in another field. It is
Uh-huh.
possible that video game journalism must be maybe much easier to get into than other sectors because people who actually play games must know what they're talking about, but listening to music or watching a film is not enough of a requirement when it comes into getting into film or music journalism. Can't disagree. Um, to wrap up, keep on making great content, guys, and I do apologize for this rant in the comments about an episode on ranting about people ranting.
That's why it was perfect.
Rantception.
Rantception. There you go.
I just wanted to add that journalism in all fields, not just video games, but other mainline national news journalism, is not what it used to be and
No,
focuses
it's
too
not.
much on the engagement
Yes.
and the aftermath from clickbait articles and news stories. It has lost focus and really needs to get back to the proper
Yes.
investigative journalism where facts are facts and not just, ooh, this will get readers, listeners, watchers going crazy in the comments or on social media. Anyway, rant over. See you next week.
It's,
Thank you, Mike. That was an amazing, amazing comment to
yeah.
have, and we couldn't cover it solely on a YouTube comment, so we wanted to obviously read it
Yeah.
out because we are very, very happy when we do get feedback coming to you, especially through the live chat when we do record this live. So we
Absolutely.
always appreciate it. So thank you very, very much.
Yep. And I mean, having thought about it and everything, I 100% like. I'm a nerd. And I don't mean that in the good. Is there
Oh,
good
I'm a
thing with the
nerd.
nerd? Uh,
Yeah, I'm not doing that extras thing.
uh-huh.
Look, I've been
Yeah.
watching too much Ricky Gervais
I can
recently.
tell.
I've gone back to listen to the XFM radio show before they did The
Oh,
Office.
I remember it. Yes. Oh
Oh
gosh.
boy, it's good, so good.
Oh gosh. But my point being, like, sometimes I forget because I get my little nerd world. Like, I'm huge into mythology, and I forget that most people aren't. And then, of course, I enjoy D&D, but like I said, more like the podcast or whatever. So it never really occurs to me, just because I'm in my own little sealed, what is it, echo chamber or whatever,
Yes, possibly.
that people don't know certain things. Like, I was watching, like I said, American Gods with my little intern. Well, she's not intern anymore. She's an employee, but whatever.
With your
Um,
intern employee.
yeah, intern employee. She didn't know who Demeter was, and so I had to tell her who Demeter was, and it
Hmm.
was weird to me because I was like, "That's such a normal thing to me," you know.
Yeah.
So to have to explain that, it was just, anyway. I'm saying all that to say that I think there's some of us out there who just do forget that. Guess what? You're a super nerd. Not everybody thinks like you. You need to not be such a dork, and that's
I
tough
mean,
to me.
look, I mean that is a very fair point, and I am very much guilty of the fact that I am an uber nerd,
Yeah,
and sometimes don't always explain myself very well to non nerds.
like,
So I try my best nowadays when they go, rather than going, "What, you've never heard of this?" I
yeah,
just explain it
yeah.
to
I
them. It's
try to
like I
sell
don't
it.
give them the shocked reaction.
Yeah,
It's just like not everyone is as freaking nerdy as I am, and I
that's
get that.
that's the stuff you have to learn as you get older. Again, this is for our younger folks. I don't know why. I guess I'm just talking to you guys this
Y-
week. But yeah, you have to, like, take that 2-second pause before you go, "You don't know what that is? What?" Because then you make the other person feel really bad. Which I was like, I never feel good when I make people feel bad.
mm.
Yeah, and it's like,
This
oh
this
wait.
week this week's old person advice
I
is brought to you
know, I
by
guess
Old
so.
Spice.
Back in my day, you don't know what a rage zombie is from 28 Days
Oh,
Later.
back in my day, we drew things rather than using computers to do it.
Oh, we wrote our stories and instead of getting AI to do it. But anyway, but,
If we screwed up on the typewriter, we had to restart
oh
from the very
gosh,
beginning.
oh gosh, oh goodness.
Let's wrap this
But
up because this
let's
has been
wrap
2 hours
this
and we're
up.
going a bit crazy now.
I know, it was a crazy show. It's so funny that we filled 2 hours and 13 minutes. Now that is, of course,
2 hours of the recording.
yeah, I was going to say that's including our pre-show. For those who don't
Yes.
know that, of course you might not if you're a podcast listener.
You nearly just did it then, didn't you?
I did. And I stopped myself because I'm a grown adult who now thinks before she speaks sometimes. But you can join us over on twitch.tv/rapper reviews.
We'll get to that in the post show.
Okay.
We'll get into the post show. All right,
Okay.
just leave.
And then join us for our post show where we get to read really interesting chat comments. Holy crap. But anyway, I think that's going to do it for us. Pete, do you want to add anything?
No, just go and check out the podcast Twitter, YouTube and all that. Everything that we have read today will be in the show notes so you can go and read for yourself.
Yeah. And of course, I always feel like you can, like Mike's done, you can always leave us a comment. We're not always going to read them. That one was just a really particular standout one.
Yes.
But we also have this kind of cool thing we're doing on Spotify that's like an interactive thing.
Yes.
And so that's cool.
I think the poll might be about AI today.
Oh, I wonder. Pete does all that stuff. I don't even see it. I don't see it as it happens. And that's another thing. If you leave a comment on YouTube and you want like me specifically, let's say it's about Halo or something, I'm not going to see it because I don't check that stuff. You have to go, hey, Kylie, there's a comment you should reply to, or just get Pete to tell me.
Just put the comment there and I'll pass it over to Kylie.
Yeah, because I don't ever look at that stuff. I don't have the brain capacity. Anyway, that's going to do it for us on this episode. But don't forget, you can join us for our after show too over on twitch.tv/rapper reviews. But in the meantime, wow, we really did film an episode 3 days ago, huh? 4 days ago.
We did.
We will see you and talk to you next week for real.
It actually is next week. Yeah.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Cool. Thus ends the podcast portion. Holy crap, that was insane.
1 second.
Oh, Pete's doing a thing. There's so much chat I want to talk about. No, Jonathan, I am not a grown adult. I will never be a grown adult. That's my lie. That's my Clark Kent
I can hear you again.
Okay. Pete, you want to attack chat? I say attack chat. I don't mean attack chat. I just mean read chat.
Yeah, I know what you meant. For fuck's sake. 2 seconds, sorry. Just need to get myself prepped and ready. Anyway, so, right, where do I go back to? So, anyway. Start. So, going from Mike Tendo, he put, oh dear, I'm about to be perfectly attacked.
No.
And publicly shamed.
Never!
And then Jonathan put, I got your back, puts on the fighting gloves. Nana put, man, Mike Tendo didn't hold back, lol.
We like that. Yeah.
I'm glad. I'm honestly glad that you didn't. It was great. So, fair play to you. So, Mike then put, we agree to disagree. I think there wasn't much that I could really disagree about this comment, to be honest. There wasn't much in there that I wasn't going to disagree with.
I think it's healthy to agree to disagree. I think that's a very healthy.
Of course, yeah. But on this occasion, like, I didn't find too much that I was going to disagree with because I think I found that both me and Mike tend to have a very similar view of mainstream media presses at the moment as well. I think so.
So,
yes. Nana put, yep, that's why I'm like, I don't want to be a video games journalist because it feels like more like summy than any other industry. Scummy, I think he probably means. Nano, can you clarify if you meant scummy?
I have been a mainstream journalist and I have been a game journalist, and there is less oversight on games journalism, if I'm honest. But I also can't lie. Mainstream journalism, when I got out of it, was starting to turn into this just op-eds, kind of like what I said before. It's
like we said reporting.
Mm-hmm.
last episode.
Less reporting, more personal opinions, and that's so the opposite of what I learned in university. It's weird. It's very weird,
Yeah,
to be fair.
it's like I liken this, unfortunately, and this is the way that I find most outlets nowadays.
Uh huh.
Is a digital 21st century form of bear baiting.
Yes, like
They're,
clickbaiting, but for bears.
no, you know what bear baiting is. Like it's meant to ensue a reaction, obviously, to get people angry. You know, it's
Yeah, well,
outrage culture
I
and
was
all
gonna
that.
say rage baiting
You know,
100%.
the whole rage baiting. Yeah, it is. You know, bear baiting has gone back many hundreds of years, of course.
Oh yeah.
So it is a modern form of the bear baiting. It's just I just don't understand why we need to have this as part of the culture. Like, why can't we just write good articles?
Money.
I know it's about the money, obviously, but what you'll find is eventually, if you keep doing it, the people just get very bored of you as an outlet, and they don't come back.
Yeah, you can't sustain rage.
Once you've lost them, they're gone. They don't
Yeah.
come back, and it's very hard to build people back up than it is to actually just entertain them. It's easier to entertain than it is to piss them off.
Yes and no. It takes more talent to entertain than
That's
to
probably
rage.
why, because most of these people don't have talent.
Yep.
Uh,
But
um,
continue on.
well, look, we will agree to no, we're not agreeing to disagree. We both agree on the fact that they don't have talent.
It's true.
So, he said, that being said, I love my position of rapid reviews. I'm glad you clarified. Well done.
Woohoo!
No, it's cool. It's Jonathan Burton, that is our show. See you next week. Mike put, I am touched that you read it out loud and ignores that
stupid.
last message I slipped on the keyboard. We've had a lot of that slipping on the keyboard today. Speaking of back in the day, I listened to your first episode the other day. Oh my god.
Gosh.
Cringe.
Oh, talk about
So,
ultimate
so
cringe.
So cringe.
Just think about this, y'all. If you do ever go back, Pete and I literally met each other 5 minutes before. Like
No, it was a week. It was a week before.
Was
it was
it a
week. Yeah, we did a cat like an introduction
like a test
and a
one or
plan
something?
and a plan, and then we put it to Mike, and then he went, "Sounds good, go ahead," and then we recorded the next week.
But I mean, wasn't the first time we talked on Thingy? That was like the 5 minutes before, wasn't it? I don't think we talked.
Yes, it was. Yeah, it was. It was.
Yeah, we literally.
Yeah, we'd bounce messages back and forth to each other.
Yeah,
and that was it.
Pete thought it was a dude for the longest time.
I did.
And then this voice, this high pitched Minnie Mouse voice, comes
Yeah.
up. He's like, "Oh,
here's how to get over being a simp on the internet. Think they're a dude." It worked, yeah. Because if I found out you were female, I would have been like, "Oh god."
Yep. So that was all. That will always stick in my mind.
It's honestly, it's funny. It is so
funny. But it
funny.
worked out. Like we had the right chemistry and everything. So
it worked.
But it is funny to hear those old episodes and then panicking because our mics or my mic wouldn't work or whatever.
Oh, panicking because the whole thing was just a complete disaster at times. No, don't worry. We'll get into all these. All right, I'll get into the. Yeah, I like these anyway. So, so Jonathan, wait, when did you turn into a grown adult?
Never. I was lying. I was lying the whole time.
It was just a child in a trench coat.
Yeah, that's it. I'm two children stacked up.
Yeah, it's three children's in an overcoat. Where else have I seen that this week as well? It seems like a lot of references keep coming up from elsewhere.
I was gonna say BoJack Horseman, but anyway, yes, continue on.
I mean, that was part of BoJack Horseman, wasn't it? It was Carolyn's partner for the longest time was just three children in an overcoat. That's so weird. That's so weird. Anyway, Mike Tendo put, Pete sounded so full of life and motivating. Not that you aren't still full of life and motivated now. I mean, definitely less so now.
Oh gosh, Pete's all grown and stuff now. He's getting a house and a wife and a married.
I
He's getting a
know,
house
I
and a
know.
married.
I'm getting a house and I'm married. Brilliant. Jonathan put, hey Kylie, check your Discord. The end sent you 2 things over.
Oh,
That's
okay.
fine.
I will do that.
Then Mike Tendo put, it's like at some point between the first episode and now, your voice drops.
Pete
Either that
became
or
a
I got a better
man.
microphone.
Oh, mostly that. But I like to
I've
think
had, I've
Pete
now,
became a man.
yes, yes I did. Finally, I was a late bloomer. 30-something
I was
years
gonna
old.
say it took a couple decades, but it happened. I'm still waiting for mine.
What's wrong, Kylie? Your balls not dropped yet?
I don't know what's happened. It's just never happened.
No. Nana put, great episode. Sorry if I seem dismissive about the AI thing. I
No,
just feel very passionate.
I
No,
think
you're not
allowed to.
dismissive at all.
Yeah.
No, you're entitled to your opinion. We love the fact that you have a differing opinion to us.
Yeah.
I'm more than welcome. I'm more welcome differing opinions rather than echo chamber society.
Yeah.
And if this is a topic that you would like to discuss in full, feel free to join us on an episode about AI art in video games.
Soon, but yeah, we'll talk
Yeah,
about
once
that.
we're back to taking guests on, because it's gonna be a while. What was it? Mike Tender put, I think it is scummy. Yeah, so he said, and Nana put, yes, I meant scummy when it comes to the comment on games journalism. I thought so, but I didn't want to assume. Mike Tender put, I think a certain institution used bear baiting when it comes to intelligent women and deeming them witches.
Yes, actually, I was watching. What was that? What is that? Oh, it's on Amazon, and it's another Neil Gaiman show, which I don't always like his stuff.
Don't know.
But it's the two angels.
Good Omens.
Good Omens. Thank you, Pete. So I watched Good Omens for the first time last couple weeks or whatever. But there was a scene that made me think about that, and I was like, and that's what happened. Like there was a really intelligent woman, and they just burned her for being a witch, and I was like, that's what they did, isn't it? That's literally what they did.
What we're calling this episode, by the way?
I forgot, Pete.
I think we will make it.
Oh yeah. We'll make it through. That's it. We'll make it through. But oh yeah, see, Mike said Good Omens. But then oh yeah, Jonathan.
I'm getting to it, don't worry.
Oh, okay. I was gonna take over while you were naming this.
Oh, you can if you want. You carry on.
Jonathan said, member and supporter since episode 1. I think the first sub as well. You were.
You was funny. Actually when we decided to move to a Twitch audience. You were the first sub.
It's true. And then it took me and Pete and subsequently Kieran a few episodes to actually follow our own podcast.
I saw
that the other day. I was like, oh
yeah. It was really weird, wasn't it?
It's so funny. It's like, oh right.
I just didn't want Twitch accusing us of being dodgy, you know.
Yes, I sub to my own podcast.
Yeah, it's like the same way of, I huff my own farts.
Exactly. But and then it says, I don't know if that would work for me. I like tomboys. Well, I forgot what that was in regards to.
I can't remember anyway. I like this comment. I like this comment from Jonathan.
What's that?
The next one.
Welcome to the Rapid Decline in Maturity, the podcast. Yes.
Sorry, wait. Rapid decline in maturity, but you've listened since episode 1.
Has it declined? You know, we tried to be so like we were professional, except that we've always said this is an organic podcast from day one, but we did try to be way more professional.
Which is why the edit never has any real cuts unless there's a major error or issue, you know. That was an absolute little peek behind the curtain from that very first conversation that we had. Yeah. I said that the absolute first and foremost thing that we need to do, we need to have it as an engaging and natural conversation.
Yeah. Because Pete did not want to edit out all the ums and uhs, and I was like, good, because
I had experience from working on a podcast of doing that before, and believe you me, when you spend well over 48 hours trying to edit a podcast that's 40-something minutes in length, you get very bored of it.
I would. Nope. I do like what Mike says. Mayhem, chaos, destruction. Our work here is done. Those are my 3 favorite words.
Chaos, destruction, violence.
Why am I hungry all of a sudden? I want cheese. Good omens. Yes, that was it. Jonathan says, I am just holding out for an ascension to professionalism. Never. No.
Sorry, professionalism?
Guys, I kid you not. I have an audition for a podcast. Not replacing this one. This is my number one.
I think I know what you mean.
Yeah, on Thursday, and I have to be professional.
Good luck, by the way.
Interesting. Me do a podcast where I have to be professional? What? We'll see how that goes.
And do one where you're probably not actually the host as well.
No, I'm doing one as host and then one as not host.
Oh, okay.
To see how the feel goes, because they may go without hosting. I shouldn't be saying all this, but anyway. We'll see how that goes. You may be seeing or more hearing my voice. I don't think we're going to stream. So you might be hearing my voice more times about video games.
It's all right. I can't say anything because of
yeah, never watchers.
Other ventures. Kiley never watches.
And then it says, my previous comment was in response to how to stop simping from women on the internet. Pretend they're a dude. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Jonathan, for stopping in.
Yes.
We really appreciate it.
It's
been a while since we've seen you in the live chat anyway, but
it's always enjoyable experience.
We're always here when you want to join us.
We're here. We aren't leaving. We just chill. But it's always good to see you there.
Just imagine that clip from Wolf of Wall Street. I'm not leaving.
Yes.
I'm not fucking leaving.
Oh gosh.
The show goes on.
Oh my gosh. High on coke. I like what Mike says. Welcome to the not so rapid decline in maturity. The podcast (parentheses gradual decline in maturity). The podcast was already taken. Probably, brilliant. Actually. And then,
say gradual decline. I would say rapid.
Oh, rapid. But
it was rather rapid.
Yes. I do think we're gonna wrap it up though, because we're getting silly. Tired. I'm really sore from yesterday. I don't know if I'm gonna work out tomorrow or not.
Yes.
Which makes me a little bit sad, but I can't move. Like, it's going to be a chore getting back upstairs.
I bet it is.
Yeah.
I bet.
But it is good to be back on our regularly scheduled program.
Sorry to inform you that next week... No, I'm joking.
I was like, Pete, what? But
sorry, I must say we've got to do another Wednesday record. No,
never again. Our numbers suffered so bad, but
it's not about the numbers. I thought we put a good show out. It was just very unusual.
It was a weird time. People weren't expecting.
Oh, Mike.
Oh goodness.
Oh, Mike. It was all good until this point. He said, at least you aren't a Ubisoft branded podcast, otherwise it would be rapid reviews.
Very good.
And he's going to put one more for the road. Oh, God.
That was perfect. Couldn't have ended it better. But we are going to wrap it up. Wrap it up. Rapid? Wrap it up. Wrap it up.
Close enough.
Yeah.
Wrap it up.
Yeah. Oh, crap. I also have a shirt and a hoodie I've got to mail out to respective members of our Rapid Review staff.
Yes. So Nana put at the moment you go out of your time slot, your ratings go down like crazy. Yeah, it's an algorithm thing, unfortunately.
It really
which is why I keep trying to tell Kiley about the SEO side of things of naming episodes.
No, and he's not wrong. He's not wrong. Oh my gosh.
I hate SEO. SEO sucks.
Let me just say this, and then we're out of here, folks. But like sometime around May or June, the YouTube algorithm changed.
Mm-hmm.
And we just went from we had this steady amount of views that were nice and sustainable. They weren't great, but they were enough to you'd look at me and smile and you're like, oh, people think of us. It feels so good. Yeah. And then it went just dropped. And I was freaking out real bad. I didn't tell Pete how much I was freaking out, but Pete's not stupid. I was freaking out really bad. And then another friend of mine said, Kylie, did you ever stop and think that the algorithm has updated? And I went, oh, frick. That's exactly what it is. So the algorithm, we're lost because we're such a small, community. Is that the right word? I don't know.
Yeah.
But those effects they hit me hard. But now I'm okay. Now I'm cool. I'm cool. I get it.
Yeah.
I do. It still makes me smile, but when good things happen. But
Yeah.
at least I'm not taking the hit too hard.
Of course.
But I always watch us over on Twitch too, because Twitch is actually more important at first.
Mm-hmm.
And also listen to us because that's also important. But again, we're not asking for you do what you want. You gotta do your thing. But I think I'm gonna stop talking because I'm actually very tired now.
Yes.
I go sleepies now.
Yes.
Okay. Well, thank you guys for being here for real because I was a bit worried because we just recorded one on Wednesday and then it was great to see Mags and Big Jesse here.
It was, yeah. Thank you very much for turning up.
He may actually be streaming right now. I can't remember if he's streaming.
It's possible, but I do need to pop in and say hello on his stream. I keep meaning to.
Also, yeah, go check out Middle Aged Gamer Guy. His streams are great. I'm really, really enjoying the Tuesday streams.
Yeah, I need to get on that. It's just the last few Tuesdays. Yeah. It's so busy.
But it'd be funny if we are both in there. That would be fun.
What, causing chaos in the chat like we would usually.
His viewers are so sweet and kind.
Yeah, we found that obviously when they joined us for the episode, yeah.
And then I enter like a whirling dervish, and I'm just like, haha, I'm here to cause chaos. Goodness. But anyway, yes. Mike says, nighty night, guys. I'll check out the full episode tomorrow on Spotify. Thank you so much.
Of course. Thank you very much. Give it
We are going to go now because I'm done. You guys have been amazing. You're the best. We love our chat. And we will talk to you.
I do really hope this freaking scheduling upload works.
I know. Yeah, so that's another thing which you guys might have noticed. I will say this. When we recorded the last Sunday recording, it went up super fast. It's because there's something going on with the uploader. It put it out way too fast, but weirdly, we got more views and listens when it went up so fast. But I don't know that we can do that every week. But yeah. Anyway, I think that's going to do it for us. We're going to leave now. And you guys have been awesome. What? Oh, Mike says, got myself some Bluetooth headphones so I can listen to it whilst cleaning pools.
Nice.
I don't trust Bluetooth. Right.
Oh,
I hadn't thought of that. Of course. Mike, I never thought of that. That makes so much more sense. You would lose that in a heartbeat. I would, anyway. I have earbuds. I don't use them ever for that reason because I lose everything. Exactly, because they might fall in. Yeah, like I'm supposed to wear earbuds when I like do the treadmill and stuff, and I'm just like, nope, headphones. But anyway, and also they get kind of gross. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna stop talking now because if I don't, I won't stop talking, and we will talk to you next week. Bye.
Goodbye.